your information to the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat.
To get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon.
Welcome to the program, Spoon Talk. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are. This is your biggest platform in the Republic of Liberia. It doesn't matter who you are. And my name is Baron Brand. I'm here tonight. Good evening, Jeans. Good day, Flomo, Dr. Regicine. How you all doing?
I'm doing well, Baron. I'm also heard yesterday there was some sort of technical problem, so we apologize for that. But good day, how you doing?
I'm okay. Go on, me. Everything's still fine.
So how did
Are you there?
We here, Baron. You getting us? Baron, are we okay? Are we okay? It's like Baron is facing difficulty in getting us.
Baron, are you hearing me?
Jeans, are you
Yes,
there?
sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay.
Baron, you hear us?
All right, they're gonna work. They're gonna work on it.
Okay, so Jeans, how is school going? I know you're taking exams now.
Yeah.
You've been studying hard, and hopefully you will get your feedback soon. And
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that feedback, waiting to get a feedback in my inbox. I'm,
um,
I'm sure you're gonna do well anyway, so
yeah.
I'm sure you're using your time wisely.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I was in class. I'm rather tired today because I had two classes yesterday and been in meetings all day today. So, but I heard there was like some technical difficulty yesterday, and it didn't just affect Spoon. It affected many people that are on StreamYard and Facebook. So I'm saying this because a lot of people were calling and asking me, in class, my phone was just going off, and I couldn't respond to it until later on after class. I realized that the station wasn't on, the show wasn't on. And, of course, a lot of conspiracy theories, the conspiracy theorists were, having a field day yesterday. But, we will experience these technical problems once in a while. But it was situation beyond our control. We really couldn't fix it. You tried, James. I know you're in the background trying. So yeah, we are today. Did you want to say anything about that?
It was something that was beyond our control. It came from Facebook. Uh, it lasted for about an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and, and at the end, we decided to just put an announcement up and let the show go. More people were like, Falcon has dialogue. It is Falcon. Because of Falcon, like what the show not coming on. That is why Facebook not accepting you people. So we were quick to put our announcement up indicating what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Indicating what was happening.
Sure.
So at the end, we got everything straight up. So yeah, it was not from us. It was from Facebook, and I'm told it will still happen. That Facebook is still updating. I think they want to add new feature to
Oh,
StreamYard. Yeah, so maybe we will be faced. Everyone, it was a global issue yesterday.
correct.
We may likely be faced with similar situation in the coming days, weeks, or months. We may likely be faced with the same situation. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Good. And to our viewers, thank you for being uh patient with us. It was something beyond our control. I know many of you missed us yesterday, but we're back today. So thank you for staying with us. So do you guys want to just tell us what's going on in the country before we actually specifically welcome our guests, like individualize our welcome with them? Um, what's going on in the country, guys? Anything?
Yeah. So few weeks ago, the National Elections Commission announced that she was recruiting 6,000 people to work with the National Elections Commission, 6,000 workers. And the public was left dumbfounded when 60,000, over 60,000 Liberian people, they applied. The NEC has said, look, we want 6,000 people to work with us. And 60,000, over 60,000 Liberians, they applied. So some political pundits believe that, well, Liberians are desperately in need of job. They want to work from this identical, survey or what happened over the weekend. So that's one of the trending issues in the country. And another one, the Miss Liberia. I don't know whether you have been following that the regency. Uh, the lady who won the Miss Liberia crown, when the CDC had its program, she was seen. I just don't know how it works in the United States of America or around the world. You know, she was seen wearing red barriers, CDC barrier, chanting battle cry, our Miss Liberia. Can you imagine Miss Liberia? You know, and it has gone viral, including Baron Brown, including the people of Liberia. Constructively, they are lambasting her about her action, what she did over the weekend. Can you imagine Miss Liberia? She wore CDC barrier, chanting battle cry. So these are all trending issues in the country. And today, again, the CDC Youth League had a press conference where they accused, without substantial, or preponderance facts, where they accused Mr. Edizana Cummings that he allegedly paid people to bring down all of the banners of Mr. George Weah that they placed all around the country, around Broad Street, in the Cinco Belt. They accused Mr. Cummings that he paid people to bring all of the banners down. Well, and from my end, there's a little boy who played for Nima County, one of their best players. He was killed in Nima County, where he was accused of, being involved into armed robbery activity. And that's another trending issue in the country. His name is one Sabu Yagla, and he played just in the county meet, this Gone County meet, and he was killed in Nima County. So, just from my end, these are some of the trending issues in the country. Our Miss Liberia, she wore CDC barrier. Can you imagine? They get what chanting battle cry. I will say that Joya will want a Joya. So I know I just decided to bring it to this. I didn't go podium because my job is to report all of the unfoldings in our country to present it to the Liberian people. So I will stop right here.
The way he's saying it is causing me to laugh. And you're right. Your job is to report the unfolding, and certainly that is an unfolding news. But the way you just say it is just funny. But anyway, good day. Please add your own, yeah?
But Will Barra, is there any law preventing Miss Liberia from supporting any political party? Is there any
Experience
law?
it. So
Huh?
when you say there's no law that prevents the Justice Minister of the Republic of Liberia, of Chief Justice, not to wear CDC barrier, they guess what they call expediency. You know,
So,
uh, yeah, it
I'm
cannot
sorry.
be.
So the question, I think, Bar, and maybe perhaps what is provoking is, does Miss Liberia represent all Liberians?
Yes.
Or does she represent herself and what she wishes to do, which is to, celebrate a political party that she is a member of? So that is the question, and maybe there's an easy answer for that, but I think that may be what may be troubling to some people. Does Miss Liberia, if you carry the title of Miss Liberia, do you represent all Liberians? In as
Yeah.
much as you may have a political view, political party, um, is that a view that can be widely known to others, or do you just have to be yourself and represent your political party the way that you want to represent your political party? And I think that's to me what the exploration should be about. Yeah. What do you? I mean, Kude. So you thinking, since there's no law, you think, Kude, there's no law, so she can do whatever she wants to do, right? Yeah. Okay, that's another option. So you're not bothered by it.
No, I'm not bothered. She's just like any other citizen who has right to support any party the person wants to
So
support.
Miss Liberia is any other citizen.
Yeah. We have had other maids. Currently, we have the former maid from Lima who is an aspirant in district number 6, right? Masorado County.
Mhm.
And I think she was heavily linked. Anyway, it was not confirmed. But yes, as long as there's no law saying you cannot do this, you can't do that, I think
Okay.
it's not. It is not a problem. It is not a problem.
I
The
can.
thing
That's, I mean,
is,
Yes.
I'm coming back. The thing is, you will see oppositions will talk about it, right? Because she's not in their line. If she was in the line of the opposition, that was going to be another issue. But yeah, another update. Today we saw.
Well, Kute Bar wanted to come in.
Yeah,
Okay.
but listen, in the case of Woki Doodle stepped down as Miss Liberia. And though she wasn't bearing the crown of the country. So in her case is different. But in the case of this lady who's bearing our crown as Miss Liberia, you know, she was seen in the public wearing a CDC barrier. It is an issue. So you cannot defend this, James. It is indefensible. You can't do this to the public. You can't do this.
Okay. So
So
that's the
will you not rebuke the justice minister? If the justice minister comes up today to wear CDC barrier or to start chanting battle cries with Jefferson Koji, what would be your own reaction? Expediency. We are talking about morality. We are talking about credibility here. I want you to understand this, James.
well, both of your views are representative of how Liberians might feel about this. And James, I will add that my conversation about this specifically is not about opposition or imposition or no position. It is to reflect what are the views of Liberians. One person could hold that she is Miss Liberia and she represents Liberia in its entirety. And part of the responsibility of being Miss Liberia is sometimes hold your personal views to exercise professionalism. On the other hand, you are saying just because she's Miss Liberia, she's any other citizen. It doesn't matter. She can be who she is and act, according to who she is by expressing her affiliation for a political party. Miss Liberia title means nothing. It's just a title. That's kind of, in short, what you're saying. So I'm just here. I don't want it to be seen because your argument is that, because she's representing CDC, so opposition will speak differently. My being on this show, and that's part of the professionalism that I will exercise. I have to actually put my political affiliation and be objective about issue, and so speak about asking questions and not kind of impose my political affiliation views onto anybody else. And because I'm on this show, if you guys are in my house and we're having a casual conversation, of course you know exactly how I feel about things. And when I was not moderating the show, you didn't know exactly how I felt about things. So, but because I'm in a different role, I have to present myself differently. So there we are. So go ahead, James. Tell us what's on your mind. What happened in Liberia?
All right. Like I was saying today, Barra, what's this famous activist that is always
Cindy,
you?
something?
What's his name? Baron.
Oh, I'm trying to get the guy who brought down the.
Yeah, his name. I'm forgetting about his name, but today he said history, something that is unusual that we did not see.
His name is Ronald McLean.
Ronald McLean.
Yes.
Yeah. Today, Ronald McLean worked in history by bringing down both the opposition political leaders' banner and the president of the Republic of Liberia on grounds that they are pre-campaigning, specifically using the legislature, the seat of the first branch of government to campaign. And he said it is a violation to the law, the election laws of Liberia. And he walked there today like a hero. And among hungry lions, he brought down Mr. Cummings' banner, he brought down Joe Walker's banner, and he Yeah, that's bringing down. He brought down the president's banner, and at the end, the security of our first branch behave like rebels. What we saw back then when our parents, our family members and friends were being killed, were being treated like animals. We saw that happening today from the heart of the government, from the heart of our government. We saw that happening today, and no one would come to his rescue. Where McLean was dragged, I mean, dragged on the ground. They drag him. You had about three security officers running with him, dragging him on the quota, not on the dusty road. So I was like, wow, we are in the days where we say we have peace, and the first branch of government security officers are behaving like this. So today we saw nearly 1990 activities happening on Capitol Hill, where a Liberian who was expressing his anger in another form was being dragged and chased out of the Capitol building.
Wow. Do you have a tape of that, James? Good day.
Yeah, we will have it on as soon
Okay.
as you
Yes.
get.
When the panelists come, I'm sure we're going to go into details
Mhm.
about this event. So that's interesting. That a citizen took actions into his own hand. So we can explore on that a little bit more. Yeah. Anything else happened? Didn't the Justice Ministry, didn't he go to Capitol Hill today?
They went, yeah, Bangor.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, they went there today. There was this meeting there. The security, the National Security Agency had a meeting there with the Senate. I did not really follow to the end. I watched portion of it because at that time I was on campus.
Oh,
When they were there, I just came off for I think like 15 minutes break. I watched portion of them where they describe the police inspector general talk about Senator Dillon being a national security threat to the government of Liberia. And I did not continue after that part. I had to leave it and go back. Yeah.
yeah. Hopefully, I'm sure I heard that part briefly, but did
Yeah.
not follow to understand what was the context in which he was describing Senator Dillon as a national security threat. So it would be good. Maybe one of our panelists can come on and tell us the context in which he described Senator Dillon in such fashion. Um, yeah, and was there anything about our forestry, um, the logging process? Anything? I heard something in the news about the forestry department. Let me just go back to my notes here. I'm sorry, guys. Just going on to. Okay. Well, I know there's something that's been in front page Africa over the past couple of days that spoke about how we are cutting down a lot of trees and creating climate problems. And although the international organizations would like to support Liberia in making sure that we get money to prevent the effects of climate change, but they also want us to be mindful about how we cut down our trees. We got a huge rainforest in the area in Liberia, in that Western Africa region. And when we maintain our forestry, we prevent uh, the climate from getting really bad in our country and the surrounding area and the world, at large. So I know they talked about how they fund our country based on how vigilant we are with protecting our forestry. So I believe I saw that article somewhere and it sort of was interesting. Anything else you guys like to add? As I'm waiting for, well, if not, I can just go ahead and welcome our guests as the panelists roll
Yeah.
in. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, good. I'll go ahead. So at this time, I'm not going in any particular order because sometimes you guys like to accuse me of just recognizing just ENC people only. I'm not. I'm just basically just quoting names as they appear on the screen. So I want to, begin by recognizing Gideon Scott. He's from Cowell, Buckeye Square, he says, in Cowell. Gideon, welcome. Josh Alayi, so I want to also welcome you. Woman ST Knuckles is from Minnesota. So Liberians in Minnesota, we really want to welcome you. We thank you for watching us. Please share the show. D Flash says hello. Hello to you back, D Flash. Brenda Thomas said he's going to call, or somebody please call Eugene Fagon. DD says good job. Fanny Dennis is here watching Spoon from Minnesota. Uh, Clarence Benson is watching from Hamilton, Ontario, Connecticut. Canada, Ontario, Canada. Please welcome all of the Liberians that are in Ontario, Canada, to the program. We appreciate you. You hold on. Nathan Davis is watching from Fargo, North Dakota. I need to get my word. I'm a little tired, so please excuse me. Nima Pekin is also watching. Jamel Johnson is watching from France. So we have Ontario, Canada, France in the house. We have Lawrence Cullis, who is watching from Beirut, Lebanon. Thank you. Thank you, all of you who are in different countries, Liberians in different countries, and other nationals in different countries. Thank you for joining us. Alexander Masale is watching from the Old Road. Pearl Campbell is watching from the Peach State. I assume that is Georgia. Moses G. Bono is also watching. He says, hello, Spoon family. Warsaw Park is watching as well. Dave Cully is also watching. Winston Holt is watching from New York. Patrick Kennedy is also watching. He's saying, go ahead and pick and choose. I'm not Patrick. I'm actually just reading on, but thank you for your sense of humor. Sekou M. Sherrod is watching. Mankula Son is also watching. George Robinson is watching from Ghana, Accra. We got someone's watching from Ghana, Accra. Thank you very much. Carl Gloria Voka Moba is watching. Carl, how are you doing? Bengali Abid Jabate is watching from Minnesota. Thank you for joining us. Samuel D. Quare is watching from the GSA Row. Thank you for joining us. Ramsey Baker is watching from the ELWA. And Lawrence Carson Jackson is from the Scandinavia. Thank you. We got Scandinavia. We got Ontario, Canada. And we have Accra, Ghana in the house. Thank you very much. Shelly Jala is watching from New Jersey. Henry Noko is watching from St. Cloud, Minnesota. Vic is watching from White Land, Indiana. All of you who are in Indiana, thank you very much for watching us. Archie Seaton is watching from Concord Town, Spoon Hill, Concord Town. In Inush Tamba is watching from Belgium. We got someone from Belgium watching us. Belgium is in the house. Liberians and other nationals in Belgium, we want to welcome you to the program. Thank you very much. We have Jami Kofa, he's watching from Maryland, USA. Thank you. William Garnett says, hi, Doc. How are you? Linda Moba is watching from Spoon Village. Natanya Billity is watching us. Thank you very much. And we have Flomo Juti is watching from Michigan. Abraham Kenda is watching from Missouri. Missouri, the show me state. I have a story about Missouri, but that's okay. Armstrong Jabba is watching as well. He's the one who's talk about growing rice. If I assume, if that name sounds familiar to me, he's the one who's talk about growing rice in Liberia. Armstrong Jabba. Prince M. Double is also watching. Uh, Elizabeth Byron says, Elizabeth, how are you? Uh, Visa Inc. is watching from Dubai, the UAE Dubai. We got someone watching us here from Dubai. That is awesome. I think In is watching from Dubai. Thank you for joining us, all the Liberians in Dubai. I hope you are doing well, and I thank you for joining us. Patrick Kennedy says you're shining, Baron. So just wanted to let you know. I'm sure you read it. Actually, you are dressed very well for the program. You tend to be dressed very professionally. I must give you a kudos
Thank
um,
you.
for that. Thank you. Um, and Ma Hawasan Foley is also here. Thank you for joining us. Let's see who else. I'm waiting for my panelists to come on so I can spend some time with you, just recognizing you here. Um, Daniel Blinton is watching from Akron, Ohio. Akron, Ohio. Thank you for joining us. Um, Honorable Twep, Political Son. Thank you for joining us. Let me see. November King is here from Town Rehab Community. Town Rehab Community. Great to see you that you're here. Cooking with Moses. That's an interesting. Cooking with Moses is from Kampala. Is here. Cooking with Moses. Thank you for joining us. That's a very interesting name. I'm sure that name has a history from Kampala. Somebody's telling us they're watching from New Mexico. Did I see that right? Um, Kamara Silva Faloli is watching from Nigeria. Thank you very much for joining us. Morris Zulu is from ELW Junction. Ramsey Don is from Ganta City. All of you who are in Ganta City, thank you for joining us. Share this show. We enjoy having you here. Participate. Write your comments. Agree, disagree with the panelists. We are here to have a awesome discussion. We come here with different viewpoints. We come here to share our thoughts and our opinions on matter. We don't claim to have any expert information on the topic, but we will make you think. That's what we try to do. We present different views so Liberians can think, and then eventually all of our viewers can make informed decisions ultimately about our country. So we come to speak about Liberia, and we do so out of the passion and the love of our heart. There's no other reason that we devote 3 hours to discuss Liberia. I will go to King V. Soiree is watching from Newark, New Jersey. And Maria George, she says, hi, Spoon family. How are you, Maria? James Walker, he says, welcome back, Doc. Thank you for welcoming back. Taik, this is a long Neo. Tioyen and destined for greatness, or destined for greatness from Rhode Island. Thank you. You're destined for greatness. Thank you so much for joining us. Charles Barlick he says, the great chairman, I believe that's Chairman Byron he's talking about, is here. Okay, I think we welcome you guys very much, and we thank you very much for being here. And we'll go back to our program today. A couple of things happening in Liberia. One is McLean, who is an activist, a lone activist, was able to go to the Capitol Hill and question the idea of putting banners and posters of the president, Mr. Cummins, and Mr. Boakai up. That was quite a move, a brave move by a Liberian. We will be discussing that here. We will be also discussing what happened at the Capitol Hill today. I believe Senator Dillon was labeled as a security threat. We don't know the context. Timberland George will probably expand our knowledge on that. Uh, we also know that the Minister of Justice, right, was at the Capitol Hill as well today. Uh, there was a sad news. Wasn't there a child that died in Firestone today?
Hmm. So what I saw this afternoon on the social media, the child
Mm-hmm.
didn't die. Probably
Okay.
it's a different story. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
the mother allegedly threw the child in a
Mm.
bush, and
Yes,
I don't
that,
know what
that
led to that action. And the
that's what I
baby,
read.
yes, the baby was discovered by another person. I think that was in Nima County or one of the counties. Yeah, but the baby didn't die, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention as well.
Yes, thank you. So I'm reading on my news notes because it said a 5-month old baby has been abandoned at a rubber plantation in Palala, Bunk County.
Okay, yes, Bon County. Yes,
Yes,
not
so
Nima County, but it is in Bon County.
Bunk County. This 5-month old baby was abandoned, and according to a local reporter in the county, actually, the child was discovered Thursday morning, which is this morning, by marketers who had gone to sell the commodity at the Palala market adjacent to the plantation, next to the plantation. Upon the baby's discovery, the reporter said he was quickly rushed to the Palala Health Center, where a medical practitioner forwarded him to the Phoebe Hospital for proper care. At that time of this report, no one had claimed the ownership of the child. So, you raise an interesting point that sort of makes me think about this a little bit more.
Mhm,
Barbara, you
mhm,
talked about how NEC put out a request to hire people, or advertisement to
mhm.
hire 6,000 Liberians, and 60,000
Yeah.
applicants sort of showed interest in a job for.
Yeah.
What does that tell us, people? What does that tell us about our country?
Hmm. Well, it indicates how the ordinary people are desperate for a job, to work, to empower themselves. And to me, the government of Liberia, Georgia, President Georgia will have to do more in terms of bringing investors into the country or companies to provide jobs for the ordinary people in our country. Because what happened, I, the announcement that NEC came out with,
Hmm.
it follows in that's the government, or he has indicted the government. They both are correct. He has indicted the government. Well, over the years, he has been addressing the nation by saying, I have provided jobs for the ordinary people. To see NEC coming up with a release to say, we place out a memo wanting to recruit 6,000 people and over 60,000 Liberian citizens, you know, applied for, for opposition. What does that indicate? Meaning the people are desperately in need of, job opportunities.
Hmm.
So this is also making rounds on the social media. What is the government doing? I mean, so this is where we are. Neck. We want 6,000 people, and we got more than 60,000 letters. So how will you manage?
Wow.
Mm,
Wow.
mm,
Wow. So, and it tells us that Liberians are willing to work. They're willing to give it the best shot. If they had opportunities to do something, they will. That's what I'm looking at. So, so everybody showed interest. They want to be gainfully employed. So at the end of the day, they can be able to at least provide for themselves or their family. They don't just want to, there's a tendency, like maybe people are just sitting down. They don't want to do nothing, but this is what this says, that people are willing to give it the best shot. They're willing to they're interested in a merit-based society where they're asked, let me apply and show my qualification. Let me go and be interviewed. I don't know if I'm going to get this job, but I'm going to try, because I want to be able to get something at the end of the month. And that's what it tells me. And you talk about investors coming to the country, which is, one of the the sort of what a service of the job of a government, responsibility of the government is to seek out, put your country on the map where people want to come to your country. Perhaps that's what a leader might want to do, will be able to go out to have these different either regional or global meetings with people. You kind of have, it's kind of like you have to market our country. You got to market yes yourself, and it's almost like it's like you looking for a job. When you're looking for a job, you don't sit down. You're gonna have to be working. You gotta be looking everywhere, contacting, calling your resources. And that's what almost the job of leaders, that's what they do. Not necessarily the president, but the president have to take control of the marketing process of Liberia, and delegate people that he trusts, that he knows that can do the job of marketing Liberia. And the second thing, a lot of time we want to focus on, to me, maybe just the investment aspect of of bringing jobs to the country. But there's so many things in Liberia that we can create that can also create jobs for Liberians. I tell you, I was in Patawi, and I was so impressed. I had never been to, I heard about Patawi, my most recent trip. Patawi has now been developed to create jobs for the local people, because I sat there, I ate. And one of the things, as I was eating, I was talking to the people. The owner of Patawi, I believe they are the Richardsons, not in relationship to me. My husband, well, no, I have to take that back. I think they discovered that they were related, but the Richardsons, this woman and her husband, they've developed in that bush. Let me call it the way how we Liberian people can call it bush. They have made our national resource such a pretty place. They have housing. They hire the local people who are there cooking. I ate the local rice and also fried fish, and it was cooked by a beautiful Pella woman. She lives in the local. We talked a little bit. She lived in the local town. She comes to work. Before Patawi got there, she didn't, have any place to go. So there's so many things you can do. Got so many beautiful places in our country. Got like somebody said, the Blue Lake, like many people have mentioned that before. You got Bassa, which is so locally and appropriately placed, Grand Bassa County. You got of course, don't let me even start talking about like Piso, the ideas. We got miles and miles of ocean. We got rainforests. We got all these different beautiful, beautiful places. I like to even shout out the guys that own Calabash. They are like, it's a Liberian owned business. So why do we just have one Calabash? I think it was a Conga Town Backway Road there. Why isn't there another Calabash going towards Broadway area on that other side too? Somebody else can bring ideas so they can employ Liberians to create something beautiful. We have the ice cream shop, there's Shark, so we need more of those places. Why isn't that somebody can empower Liberians to create like a Shark in the Kakata area, ice cream spot? The people in Kakata, they like ice cream. So there's so many things, that we can empower our fellow Liberians to do that would just be very, very helpful. But going back to this story, which I was kind of brought up about the child, it is so desperate that Liberians are not only overwhelmingly applying for jobs, that they can't even, it sounds like this family was troubled, or this woman, she had this child. Yeah. And when you have children, they require not only nurturing, but food. They require food. They require responsibility of taking care of them. And what if you don't have that food? So what are you going to do? What was that woman? I'm not condoning, because I don't know her, I never met her. I don't know what's going on in her head or in terms of her attachment to her baby, because women go through different periods, go called postpartum depression in this part of the world, where they can feel attached or detached from the baby. So I don't know what was going on with her, but is it possible that she felt like, oh my goodness, I can't take care of this baby. I don't have enough food. I don't have anything to offer for this child, brought this child into this world. And so, perhaps that's, something that made her contributed. There could be many, many factors that contributed to her just putting this baby, down in the rubber bush or wherever she left this baby. So that's those are my thoughts on that. I'd like to welcome Kef Hassan to the program. Kef, welcome to your program.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
So, okay. Kathy, how are you?
Not bad, good day. How are you, my brother?
Can I talk on the 6,000?
Oh, 6,000. Go ahead.
I think the 60,000 or so far that applied instead of the 6,000 net wanted or net wants to get, it's just an indication that we have a very good working population that is willing to work. And again, you cannot hold the government responsible for them, for more people applying, because they already set a benchmark that we that that we want 6,000. They already set a benchmark that we want 6,000, and at the end of the day, 60 plus thousand individuals applied. So I think it is just a sound that everyone needs to put hands on decks in making sure that we have investors in country who will, bring more jobs. The government will have to work. Individual citizens will have to work. If they are given the time, if the government gives them that free space to operate, everyone will have everyone needs to get on the desk to work. And more people stay at home in Liberia. They have nothing, and even those who working, they don't make over $400-500 a month, $50, $100, 150, 200, a little of nothing. So I think we just need to keep these things at the back of our minds while going to October 10 election, specifically the presidential election, and not forgetting also about the legislature. Because if you have a better legislators, you're gonna have a better government instead of where they're gonna be in the pocket of the president, where the president or in the purse of the president. Maybe we will have female like we had before, whether in the pocket or the purse of the president. If we have lawmakers like what we're seeing today, practically president, we are going to decide what he wants to happen. It will happen because the money will come out, and the majority will go for it. We saw it. They will do it. So we just need to do what we can, either to maintain this government or we put them out and bring new people, bring new lawmakers who will make laws, who will stand for the people, not for their pocket or their purse, who will go out there and lobby and negotiate with companies to carry job back in Liberia, because government cannot provide even 60% of job opportunities for its citizens. That is global. Government is unable to provide 60% job opportunity for everyone. But government can open the avenue for at least 70 or 80% of its citizens to get job by giving a level play fee to everyone to take part. But in Liberia, most people try also, but government is not giving them way. Yeah, we listen to some of them, their testimony. they're trying to come into work to bring companies, but there's this corruption issue. So we need to work on everything. We have a very terrible governance system in Liberia that needs to be, overhauled if we want to see a better country, a prosperous nation where citizens will work at least to make a little over 1,000. I mean, citizen like me who will work as a cleaner and make at least $500. A professional person walk away with at least $500. But now, to be fair, Liberians are living in the dark era of job in Africa. And I never realized that until I left from Africa, that people in Africa, specifically my country, they are not working for anything. And they are just providing free service. They are just providing free service. When I was in Africa, I thought they were doing good for us in Africa. But after leaving Africa, I realized that we just work for our government institutions free, because a sweeper here will make more money than Meta Barber, who is a professional person, who will work a month and make at least maybe sometimes a little over 200 or 300. Sweeper here working away sometimes with 1,000, meaning they're not even paying that person good money. Work away with 4,000, 2,000, 3,000. So I think we need to work on it. Liberia needs to rethink, and we can only do that if we have leaders who will stand up for their people. And that can only be done if we start electing people not based on the toilets they will build for us, the hand pumps, the money they will put in our pockets or in our purse. I think with that, we will get there. But the current governance system of our country is just continuing with what we started in 1847 up to 2023. So we need a new generation that will bring life into the system. And if we do that, we will go there. But if we continue like this, I'm sorry, we will die and leave. Others will come and continue. Nothing will change. Yeah.
Thank you for your thoughts on that issue. Good day. I want to go over to Kef Hassan. Kef Hassan, we were talking about the NEC putting out an ad for 6,000 positions and 60,000 Liberians apply for a job. What do you make of that, Kef Hassan?
Well, hello to everybody. I'm trying to figure what is the problem with that.
Okay. You don't see.
What is
you
the
don't.
problem with that?
Okay, you don't. Well, I'm just wondering if you see a problem with so many people, 60,000 persons applying for 6,000 jobs. It seems just like a high ratio of people looking for jobs versus the jobs that are available, the openings that are available.
Yeah, what's the problem? If 60,000 people and apply for 6,000 jobs, what's the problem?
So, okay, well, I think Good Day particularly saw one problem was the fact that there are not more jobs that are available in Liberia to absorb the people that are applying. The fact that he mentioned the idea of corruption might be contributing to the reason why many jobs are not available in our country. So and I actually have some problems with that. And my problem basically is the fact that there are no jobs. They're very limited. Let me say now, on the 6,000 jobs, 60,000 persons apply. That's a lot. The ratio is just too high for me.
What's the population of Liberia?
I'm sure you know that question.
What's the population of Liberia?
No, you know the answer to that, Kef. You speak, and you don't have to do Socratic questioning here.
Well, if you want to do your math, first of all you have to look at the population of Liberia. and then minus
That has
60,000.
nothing to do with the population, because if the population is
Okay, we have 5.5.
well, if the population, let just got caveat there. Kev, no, let me just speak. Kev, I want to say something to you.
Right?
No, you asked a question, so we're answering the question. 5.5 million persons doesn't mean that everybody's eligible to work. So, so if you're just asking for the population, what is the population of the eligible people that can work? So then you want to break that down. So we're not going to go through this number drill, because we don't have those statistics. Go ahead, you speaking.
I can come in now.
Yes, I was just telling you something.
5.5 million people. Take in 5 million people. Let's say 1 million people are eligible to work. Let me go down. Let's say 500,000 people are eligible to work. Or do you want me to come down to 400,000? Let's keep going down. If 60,000 people apply for that job among 500,000 people, and you say that's too much. The thing is, the reason I always try to, when people say stuff, I always try to come back to where I live for so many years, because they're happy here too. They will put up jobs. You will see a lot of people applying for that job. Thousands of people applying for that job. I want to urge you, Baron, you and Goody, you go on the website in this country. You know, it's a global village now. You can sit down, you take your phone, you go on the website. You see where they're applying for jobs. You see thousands of people going for jobs where they put jobs. Even where I work, where they put out a job, when we go online, they put out a job. You see a lot of people going for it. They have to just start scrutinizing. They go in bed and see who the most qualified. Dr. Richardson know that. Even her university where she lecture, when they put out job, people come out. It happened all over the world. We understand that Liberia need more jobs. That's a fact. We need more jobs in Liberia. I understand that a lot of people in Liberia need to work. But to act like 60,000 applying for 6,000 jobs, that is a bad thing. We need to understand that we do have 6,000 jobs. It will be 6,000 family members will be taking paycheck home.
So, but Kev, the kind of thing you're speaking, you got to back it with Fido.
Wait, can I ask you? Can I ask you?
Let James to finish.
Let James
and then James to talk.
James first. Yeah, back it with Fido. What that mean?
I told you, you live in the US, right? Can you name? You've been there for almost 30 years. Can you name any institution from the day you enter the US up to today that wanted at least 1,000 workforce and over 500,000 people apply?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, please name that institution.
For example, let me take West Virginia, where you have the coal mine. When they put out jobs in the West Virginia, thousands of people apply because.
No, but it's not still the answer.
What you asking?
I'm asking specifically where they would tell you we want 5,000.
But that's what I'm telling you.
When the application comes out, when the applications come in, the institution announced that instead of the 5,000 we wanted, over 10,000 or 100,000.
Yes. I'm just telling you.
Okay,
giving
give us
you,
that ratio when it
I'm
happens, so we
giving
can
you,
confirm it.
I'm giving you. We have the blue workers, the blue collar workers. Then you have the West Virginia, you have the Midwest, where you have Wisconsin, all those places. Them, they plenty. They're there. That you know what I'm talking about. You have Pennsylvania, where she live. They have the blue collar workers that would they put one job, you see thousands of people applying for it.
For one position.
No,
So, let's,
several positions. So, wait, come on, let I cannot be interrupted. I'm talking.
okay, I'm sorry. I tell you I finished because Good Day has finished, but I wanted to move the conversation to Baron Bar. I think he had a comment.
Let me.
Kev,
No, Baron, wait,
wait.
Baron, please just wait. Let Kev finish. Okay, thank you.
Let me give an example. My job, when they apply for it, right? Where they put a position. Sometime before we come in and send you our position, they tell you it gone because the ratio, the amount of people, my job, it happened to Dr. Richardson's job. Sometimes when they put it up, when you get to the HR, oh, I'm interested in this position. They'll say, oh, sorry, it gone. You know, someone can tell them, we'll say, maybe you're not getting somebody said before you put it up. It happens several times. Dr. Richardson, no. Before you look, it gone. Trust me.
Anyway.
It's a high-paid job.
Baron, can you speak and then I will speak?
Yeah, no, I just want to ask Kev this question. Kev.
Yes.
There are many Liberians, who are watching you right now. I want you to answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you care to answer this question? Name one company. It is not an attack on the government of Liberia. I want you to name one company. Since your government, our government, took over, name one company the government has brought to Liberia in order to provide jobs for the people of our country. Just name one.
Okay. You asked a good question. Let me say this to you. There are companies. First of all, we have to understand that we have a global shutdown. Investors are not going. So if you want me to answer the question, we gotta be serious here. If we're not serious, then I'll bypass you. We go because this is not a laughing matter.
Serious.
It's not a laughing matter. Then when you post your question next time, I will not answer it. So you have to be serious when we're asking questions. You have to be professional and be serious. Disagree with me after that. It's not a laughing matter. So we had a global shutdown. So when you have a global shutdown, all over the world, investors were not coming. But after the global shutdown, we have investors who are on the books, who have existing contracts. For example, the Western cluster that is on debate right now. That this government decide to bring back a company who left because of global pandemic. They left. They're bringing them back. It's a job for the people of Bombay. This government, I saw Mita that had a 25-year contract. This government went in there and try to negotiate the contract to make it better.
After 5 years, Cash, they're struggling to name a company.
To make it better. so if you guys
Kevin, can I tell us what are we doing?
The thing is simple. Just name one company.
By yourself, when you hold a day with your hand, you brother in the country, you're still struggling after 5 years. What the wow!
I have, I'm so sorry. I'm too weak to even talk. I'm not really weak, but also just tired.
Let me say this to you, Dr. Richardson.
Yes, please.
To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
because I think the show is going through it becoming unprofessional right now with it for being and making the show is a laughing stock. I'd rather sign off because uh, if you disagree with me, you disagree with me.
Kev,
We
that's
have
your choice. It is your choice.
so I'll
You can sign off. It's your choice.
Yeah.
But I would tell, yes,
Yeah.
audience, if you are watching us, we're discussing the concept of or the experience of Liberians, where NEC put an ad out for 6,000 jobs and got 60,000 persons applying for, the position. And here it is, we're having this discussion that in the United States, as far as I know, the ratio of people applying for 6,000 jobs to 60,000 is just very high. I have never actually seen such a high ratio of applicants for 6,000 jobs. There are times where, there's a lot of applicants that may apply for one job, but I've never really seen it so high. That's one thing. Another thing is people have choices in the United States for
Mhm.
jobs. And this is why we don't really get to such a high ratio. And I wish, my colleague would have stayed on to hear the answer that, if there's a job that opens up at, I'm going to use an example at, maybe McDonald's or my university, and there's another job down the street that would be Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, so all these different places, these different businesses, investors, corporations have openings. So people don't have to go apply in drove. Like a significant amount of people don't have to go apply for a limited amount of jobs. So that's the difference between a, a economy that is, working for its people. They make sure that jobs are available. Like we know right now, the unemployment rate is very high. President Biden posted about this. I'm sorry, it's very low. Sorry, viewers. President Biden just posted about how the unemployment rate is very low in this country, something historical he was speaking about, versus other parts of the world versus Liberia. I hate to often make this comparative, but that is the case. So when someone comes and says, that this show is becoming unprofessional and stuff like that, it's because we ask a question. And sometimes, we laugh so many times on the show, so I don't know why this is becoming upsetting to my colleague Jeff, but that it is what it is. He made a choice, and the show this show shall continue.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. So and all good day. I was it's Baron asked, can you just name me one company that have came to Liberia in 5 years? One company, and that's all you are asking for. And we didn't get it. We got Western Cluster, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Western Cluster, it was not a government that brought Western Cluster in the country. So
That's
the issue
it.
here, Dr. Richardson, what kept just the anyway, it is your show, my hand on there. But Western Cluster, it was not a CDC government. It was not a CDC government. It was in the country before President Weah even became president. The question was, name one company, and Kev took over 4 minutes. He could not name one company. What Kev did, Kev was talking about renegotiations, and I said, Kev, you were just asked after 5 years to just name one company. What's the unprofessionalism in that? Anyway,
So I cannot hold. Welcome, Minister Falcon. Let me just finish saying that, and I'll give you an opportunity to respond to the job situation in Liberia. I cannot hold any panelists onto the show. We all are here based on our free will. We are here doing volunteer work. Nobody gets paid to be here. it's our commitment to Liberia. We take our time. Right now I could be honestly making money and doing so many things. Likewise, Mr. Falcon Byron, a good day, could be studying for his exam. But because we love our country, we want to bring information, want to impart information, want to engage in critical thinking, exploration of facts. Okay, this is why we sit here every day. We may not know it all, but we filter information through our lenses for the Liberian people to have something to chew on, to make informed decisions. Okay, I don't claim to be a journalist. Never went to school to be a journalist, but I engage in critical thinking of people every day when I'm in my psychology world or in my academic world. So, Minister Falcon, I want to welcome you. We're talking about what Byron mentioned to us earlier. There's this thing that is going around. I'm sure you heard us.
I heard you.
Okay, the NEC put out a job ad for 6,000 persons. They were looking
And
for
60,000 applied.
Yes. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I was driving company. I nearly got pulled over. And the reason why I nearly got pulled over is that...
You okay? I hope the police didn't get you ticket.
No. I was just rushing because...
Oh, okay.
I was anxious to come and erect the checkpoints. Especially when I heard, look at Western Cluster. The question was, name me one company your government has brought. Not one that had an MDA that our corrupt government bypassed to institute an MOU for them to steal our iron ore. That was not the question. What did you bring in? You. Your own that you brought. Name me one. And I'm sure when we couldn't find an answer, it became an issue. The second thing was, take for example, West Virginia. Don't forget, who here does not know I live in West Virginia? Why you tell me about the state I live in from 2014 to 2018 and have my businesses in? What about West Virginia, the coal mines? Where have you ever saw they say we want 300 people in this coal mine? Because that's what West Virginia does, small coal mines. And then for 300 people, 3,000 people apply for that one job. Where? Never happened. And the reason why I say 3,000, because if you look at the 6,000, multiply it by 10,
yes,
60,000.
Yes, percentage.
So, Kev said, where have they put up one job at my place? And a lot of people apply. Where did they put up one? I don't want to go into that. That would seem too personal. But what it tells you is that the government, right, is the biggest employer. What did the president say in his State of the Nation address? He has 70,000 as a government. That means that the president, but as Minister of Information, I knew that to my fingertip. So if the government is the biggest employer in the whole country, and the government has 70,000 employees, what does that tell you for just a $6,000 job bid that you have 60,000? Now, what's the problem with that? What's your population? Let's not even go to the population. Let's just look at every day you come and talk about a voters registration. How many voters registered in 2017? If your voter registration is about 1.6, now will be elevated to about 2 million people. It means they are above the age of what? 18. And if out of 2 million people, you can only get 70,000 hired by the government, what does that say? It doesn't only say our unemployment rate is high. It says that there are no job opportunities. And that is further proving by our unemployment rate, which is astronomically high. But then, good day throw the trap. Have you created jobs? No. Have you brought in any company? We know that the private sector creates the job. Okay? We know that. But have you created the atmosphere for the private sector investment? No. Your government is marked by corruption. And the whole world know that Liberia has the most corrupt government, that it's not a place to do business. So investors avoided us. Now you talk about the pandemic. We had a global situation. What has global situation got to do with Liberia? Liberia was among the best 10 countries that handled COVID, according to the United Nations. And all of our companies were working. So what is your argument? This pandemic started in 2019. By 2021, we were gone. We are in 2023. What's your argument? But this is what happens when you have no arguments. You will either resort to name callings, insults, and attack individuals and act like you are a victim. This is just about unemployment. What if we were attacking national security? What if we were attacking agriculture that had about 25 persons indicted? What if we were attacking the economy, for which this government underpaid its employees below the minimum wage and stole their monies? So again, I think if people have no argument, then they resort to all kinds of tactics. And for me, it doesn't matter. I would say it to you, Dr. Francine, all due respect. I'm on this show because I see misinformation flying all the time. If Joseph Boaga ain't that liquor now he drinking, you drinking liquor by behind your seat. Away behind your seat. I know you drinking out of liquor. Now, we said down here the other day, they gave us an NGO or foundation, registration of the state of Rhode Island. We are told that the 501c has been revoked. If we don't stand up for something, we will fall for everything. And if I'm dedicating my time here, that is the reason. You can see how I'm panting. I'm breathing because the misinformation was about to be supplied to the Liberian people in defense of no creation of jobs. And that's not something that anybody can defend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Falcon. Thank you for your thoughts on the information. So we are still waiting for our other colleagues to join us, but thank you for joining us. And then we'll just move on to our next conversation. Something happened in Monrovia today. The lone activist, McLean, went over to the Capitol Hill building and he removed banners of Buckeye, banners of Cummings, banners of President Weah, citing that it is not campaign season yet. So he took upon himself to do this. So I wanted us to go into that conversation, have a discussion about that. But I will ask Good Day, if you want, if you are prepared to, Good Day, could you play a clip of that so then we can take our turn discussing it? Good Day.
Where Martin Rwanda, an activist, have come here on the grounds of the Capitol, and he's removing this torturing here. They are lifting up. You see there? This is what happened in the grounds of the Capitol. It's getting very serious here. The sergeant running with him out, they're dragging him, and of course we are here. We listen to them, and of course they're dragging him out, and so they are here. This is KFTV.
Wow. I want to welcome Tumalin George to the program. Tumalin, welcome. Thank you for joining us. So let's go back to you. Good Day, and then we'll go to Falcon, and then we'll go to Tumalin George. Good Day. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts about what you just saw?
Yes, I think what happened today should have not happened. Yes, let's agree it was wrong. It doesn't matter where the person put their banner, for you to tear another person's banner. Yes, somehow it is wrong, but he had a point that they were campaigning, and it is not time for that. So it was not just restricted to the president. He brought down Cummings, Mr. Cummings and Ambassador Boakai. He brought down their banners, and at the end of the day, the seat that every Liberian will depend on, the seat that we all depend on to stand up for us. We saw them doing things that even the AFL is yet to do. If you ever made a mistake, you enter that barrack or you go to where the security, the current armed forces of Liberia, where they will tell you not to pass. You ever force it, you go there. They're never going to drag you that way they did our young men today. So I think it was wrong, and it sent a very terrible image for our legislature, specifically where we have lawmakers, and they were in session. They were in session. Both the speaker and the pro tem, they were all in session. So they watched that happening, and up to now, we have not even getting any statement from the legislature, the both houses. We are not getting any statement regarding what their security officers did. It just shows that Liberia is a country where anybody can just do anything. This young man, what he did, somehow some would say he went above his limit. Yeah, that is another argument. But he was talking something that also was making sense that the Capitol Hill is not a place for you to go and do your pre-campaigning. That place is for Liberians. So you bring We Are banner down, you bring Cummings banner down. When the time comes, if you're supposed to do it, you can do it, but not now. And at the end of the day, we saw people who supposed to be professionals. I know them. They are all assigned at the Senate. They are all sergeant at arms for the Liberian Senate. I know all of those guys who are doing that today. The guy you saw with that, not a uniform. I'm sorry. One day his name is James. The taller guy, he's called James. So to see them dragging another citizen without even at least hold a man up and take him out. But you let a man down, they had him in the air, and at the end they decided to knock him on the ground and drag him. That just shows that we still have quote unquote rebels in our security system, or rebel behaviors in our security system, and they have to change. If they don't change, we may likely see something happening. The Arab Spring, how it happened? It started with one person, one individual who got upset with the system and did what was not okay, and that brought heavy uprising. Who knows if that young man was going to, God forbid, if he was going to die today. You know how many people out there who support that man, where we were going to be as a nation today. So I think we need to work on it, and their leaders need to talk to them.
Wow. Yeah, thank you, James, for saying that. I'm going to go on to Minister Fagon to express his thoughts about what you saw on the clip, and then Tomalin George, and then I will have a few thoughts about it.
First of all, my hat goes off to the young activist. I want to say to him, take courage. We're not too far from the time when you will be able to utilize your public facility as a citizen without it being used or politicized or used for political activities. You know, when Yeke stepped in here the other day and said that you can go back to the State of the Nation address, you will see all the balconies fill up with seditions dressed with their tags and everything. I mean, it's not a secret anymore. They hosted their banners with their logos on it. And what that gentleman tried to express without bias was that I don't care whether it's Cummings, Boakai, or George Weah. This is our building. Go and hang your stuff at your party headquarters. But this building belongs to us. We pay taxes for it. It should not be used for political activities, or neither should it be used to politicize our political process in a way and manner that is unacceptable. But you know, I want to condemn in the strongest possible terms. If I can find anything to condemn it, I want to condemn in the strongest possible term the level of brutality meted out against that young man. We have something they call de-escalation of tension. The two officers could have just gone to the young man and said, look, you took two down. We are going to invite you in and talk to you. Can we talk to you, please? You don't have the right to do this, or we don't think you should do this. Please leave the premises. Just something to de-escalate. But the way they grabbed that man like an animal and dragged him brutally, questions will come about. Did he resist? Did you tell him he was under arrest? Did you read to him his Miranda rights? Was there probable cause to even arrest him? Did you arrest him? If James shows you the video, you did not detain him, you did not arrest him, you did not interrogate him, you just grabbed him and dragged him out of a facility that belongs to him. That's what I want the Capitol, the Sergeant at Arms and his colleague to know. You are not dragging him out of a private compound. Even at that, you did not have that right. You are not dragging him from a high security facility. This place belongs to this man. And if he did anything, you should have arrested him, detained him, interrogated him. But treating him like an animal, this video is gone to the U.S. Human Rights Watch group. Because the optics is different. You grab a guy and you drag him like an animal, dropping him to the floor like a piece of floor rag. I want to say to him, you got 8 more months. Stay put. It is a matter of time. And that's why when they talk about, oh, no one has been arrested, and this government, I just laugh. Because I know Matthew Innes is rolling in his grave. But Niswa is saying, please don't say that. Gefti Lama is on the other side weeping. And guess what? Abbott and Fambutu, they are rolling in their graves. What are you talking about? What you saw today, should we be watching that in the 21st century? Hey, young man, can we have a word with you? Sir, we've been asked to remove you, but we'd like to talk to you and see what we can do to solve this problem. But you treat him like animal. And maybe James, after you guys talk, should show that video. I'm looking for something in the video later on when these guys are finished. There is something I'm looking for in the video.
Thank you, Minister Falcon. Chief St. Summerlin Naulo George, your thoughts on the video?
Well, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are. It's good to see you guys again. Yeah, I watched the video with his name McLean, what, Robert, right?
Brenda.
Yeah, I've been watching the young man. The last time he took on the issue of the NEC, I watched him again on his one-man advocacy. What I saw today, I think it was inappropriate, the way how he was treated by the security guys, the way he was dragged. I condemned that. I condemned the action, the way they wish to treat him. It was just not the proper way to do it. The citizen of Liberia, he has the right to protest. He has the right, even today during a hearing with the Joint Security Commission with the Senate, the Joint Security Chairman, Councilor Musa Din, said people have the right to protest. People have the right to put up placards and so. But the way he was treated was just not appropriate. But again, you see, yes, what happened again. You see how many people condemn it. Where are the civil society group? Where are the opposition figures? Where are those who are the moral leaders of the country to condemn such an act? No matter if he's not in violation of the law, ripping. But for him ripping down the president's poster with the State of the Nation, that's a different event. The president, that poster ripping was the president's Sonan poster. For me, I saw it happen to other presidents when they giving the State of the Nation address. They put posters up about advertising the State of the Nation address. So I don't think, by them posting President Weah's Sona up, he delivered last week. I don't think it was anything that should have he was in violation of. But besides that, the way he was treated, that's what my concern is. He has the right to protest, but the way he was treated by security forces just was not appropriate, and I think people should condemn it. But again, if many voices are going to speak up today to condemn how he was treated, perhaps it will get some attention. But it meant he was manhandled, and I think those who manhandle him, if he has a legal means, you take them to court, sue them for the way he was treated, because you don't treat citizens like that. That's not a way to handle somebody who expressing their grievance or so. You don't treat them like that. Tell me, had it been an well-known figure, okay, somebody well-known, would they have put hands on them? Would they have put hands on the way that he was treated? No. So I condemn the way he was treated, by the way how they drag him today. And there's a time for people to stand up to say, well, that young man, we can reach out to him and give him some help to seek the legal process, because he has his rights, and he was violated today the way he was treated, and so we should condemn it in strong terms.
Yes, Tomalin, thank you so much for your thoughts. And there's a part of the election law that says no candidate or political party should use state resources in a election campaign or in preparation for election campaign if that resources is not made available to all parties. So maybe perhaps this man was saying the Capitol Hill is state resource. Okay, so he was expressing his views, like saying this is my taxpayer building, this is my home, this is my building. So why are these people, political parties, using our resources to advertise their political comments or statements? So that's one aspect of the law. Maybe he could be saying nobody wants to question why these banners placed over here, so I'm going to take action into my own hands. The second thing, you guys are speaking about human rights. It was a gross violation of human rights. Every year we do get human rights reports, and Liberia has been on this report for the past couple of years. And I think Minister Fagon was right. Human rights organizations have captured that. And I will be surprised if this incident is not mentioned in the next human rights report that tends to come out around the world. So it to me, they could have managed it a different way. I saw that, and I had problem just watching how maybe he's, one thing we don't assess for is trauma, the physical trauma. Sometimes when you get injury to your body parts, your brain and all of that stuff, it doesn't show up immediately. You're bleeding. Sometimes you don't even see it. You don't know. Internally, you get bruised. And they're not all bruised can cause blood clots and all these different mild adaptation in the body. So, it bothers me. It really worries me. So I wish him well. I hope he seeks medical attention. I don't know what's going to come out of it. Somebody put in one of the comments, is he likely to sue the government or sue the people who violated him? But again, we have to think about our country. What comes out of any of those kind of legal actions? Sometimes nothing. We had a past situation where a young man was just as I think remember what's his name was Simeon or Simon. You guys remember when the embassy riot protest that happened, and that young guy that was from Soup, right? Good day, remember?
Christopher Sululu.
Yeah, Christopher. What's his last name? Simon?
Sisulu.
Sisulu. You remember? I don't even know how he's doing now, but he was injured, and what came out of it right now? Nothing, right? So, so it is a dangerous thing. And I hope that we can exercise patience. The people who are in position of power to do that in our country, de-escalate the situation. That should be part of your training. Easy. Call a young man aside. Just have a conversation with him. My man, what are you doing? Please let's just talk. Put him on the side. You guys, what, 3 of you versus 1. So it saddens me, man. It saddens.
Excessive force and police brutality. But in that case, they're not police. They're Capital Sergeant at Arms. I mean, the way they brutally handled the guy. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that is just really, really terrible. All right. We're gonna go on to our next topic. And Tomali, I think you know more about this. So I wanted to kind of have you talk about this. I didn't get an opportunity to see what happened in the Senate today. You had mentioned there was a labeling of Dylan as a security threat. So can you just explain? Maybe you have some contextual understanding that I don't have.
Well, today the executive committee of the Joint Security Commission of Liberia, headed by the chairman of the Joint Security Commission, the Attorney General and Justice Minister, they met with the Liberian Senate to discuss about a wide range of issues, especially relating to the upcoming elections. And today, the Minister of Justice, the Director of Police, the Chief of Fire Service, the NSA boss, the immigration boss, they were all present. And they discussed first about the Minister of Justice. He did express disappointment about state security wearing party uniforms or so, however you call it. He expressed concern about that. And he said that he assured that it won't be repeated, but they're going to look into it. And also they talk about the issue about DeLong. But I think later on, the Director of Police admitted that he was on security. He was considered security threat. But now I think today they finalized that. If I'm mistaken, I think I went off. I lost them at that point, but later on I heard them talk about it. I think they finally said that he was clear. He wasn't on security radar anymore, or something like that. But they did admit initially that he was on security threat. But don't forget, I think it was one time, I think, when they don't threaten to I think they stone the presidential convoy, I think, some of that nature. But he apologized and said and withdrew his comment later on. But today, I think they clarified that, yes, initially they said he was on security radar, but then I think they finally clarified it. Yeah, and then they talk about the prison conditions in Grand Gila and other places. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, do you want Good Day can put up the newspaper, Front Page Africa. Thank you for letting us use your newspaper. Good Day, do you have it ready for us? And as Tomali speak with that, yes, is that the one above where Musa Din is speaking about the prisoners? Is that what you're referring to, Tomali?
Yeah, I think he mentioned about that too. Mm-hmm. And also they said the police will be getting some new some vehicles, I think. And perhaps I think maybe they'll get helicopter and all, I think. It will be good for us. But the Joint Security has showed the Liberian people that all they will ensure that there's election will be peaceful and it will be peaceful, and the people will be protected. Will have the right to exercise their franchise, and also ensure that going forward, no security person should wear any party emblem or stuff to identify with any party. Like you shouldn't. If I'm a sedition, I shouldn't wear my stuff, my beret, to show it when I'm doing my official function as a security personnel. So they showed the Liberian people that will have a peaceful election, and they are going to put in place measures to curtail and then excesses. So we look forward to see what happened. But that was basically the discussion, and they also talked about their budget, that they should also increase their budget, and so that they be able to perform their job. So, and then one of the major things to came up was that they are being reported that taxpayer security are being positioned at concession areas and protecting concession areas. So they had a concern about that, And they said it should not be that way. It shouldn't be protecting concession areas or Liberian taxpayer funding, So people, the senators expressed concern about that. And I think they came to some resolution. So, and then they were asking about the manpower, the strength of the Liberian National Police Security Forces, and they said we're going to go into, which I agree with them. You cannot disclose the strength of your security forces, to the public. So they were going to some meeting after the meeting to discuss it better. But it was a good discussion, and hope that they can continue such a thing to educate the Liberian public assurance about peace and stability during the elections.
Someone, thank you. Mr. Fagon, any thoughts on that?
Well, I think from time immemorial, we've struggled, and it's not unique or limited to this government. Prisoners have not been fed appropriately. Many of times, from time immemorial, like I said, it's not unique to this government. Our prisoners are malnourished. They are often jam-packed in overcrowded cells. They are often sick, and in some cases, some of them die. But since this government took over, they met the last government with prison reforms. And I know the Assistant Minister for Justice for Corrections, Electoral, had complained over and over and over of not having the requisite budget to run his prisons. And that is why the prisons are not only overcrowded, but that the prisoners are not fed appropriately. On the issue of whether or not the national security apparatus is prepared to handle our elections, I doubt it. I hope they are, but I doubt it. If I did not know them, then I will say, you know what, they can. But election year is mostly civil. So unless you're going to use the military, we don't have an adequate police force that has the resources to deal with the election period. I mean, I'm not going to, me and nobody going to have that debate unless you're going to bring out the military. We don't have adequate police force proportionately with what is expected, and we don't have the resources, whether logistics, whether funding, we just don't have it, period. And at one point, the Chinese government was going to come in and help, but I can say this, I was one of those who pushed the Chinese ambassador when he visited with me at the Ministry of Information to help the police, because at that time we were experiencing rapes, homicide, armed robbery. Those were the three things bothering us. And he said they should request. But man, they made a request to make the follow-up on it till today. I don't know what has happened, but I can confirm to you they did not get it. And it's because they did not follow up on a lot of the writings. I know so for a fact. And so I don't think we will have a situation where the military is going to be called in. And the reason why I don't think so, because when I look at my electoral map, it tells me that this election is pretty much over. The only thing that is holding it up for the opposition is unity. If they unite around a common cause, I don't think the government should spend money on this election. It will be a blowout. And everyone has predicted, it's not me saying it, everyone has predicted, everyone, including the same government, that if the opposition come together, it's a one-round victory. So until we see that happen, we don't foresee any violence. But looking at the electoral map, it should be an easy ride.
Yes, thank you, Minister Fagon. I can't add my voice to what you guys are saying because I needed to review the entire tape and listen to the hearing, and I trusted Tomalin because he would briefly exchange information about that. So thank you, guys. I want us to have James put out the Front Page Africa again. Front Page Africa, I want to give you credit for this. their headings that are good. Thank you, James. There's two things on the paper, some of it that you have addressed so far. And the first part of the paper speaks about something where the Justice Minister Dean alarms potential food shortage at prison facilities in Liberia. And I think we spoke already about the human rights issues that this shortage of providing food to prisoners can potentially be. You know, a lot of times we don't respect prisoners' rights in our country. The prison tends to be overcrowded, as he's saying, and prisoners don't get good food. So, and of course, the Minister Dean is saying that because of financial constraint by the Justice Department, the prisoners now are feeling the pinch. They get to suffer because of such constraints. As we speak in a context of human rights, again, that is an issue. So we hope that all of this issue will be resolved with the budget and the ministry, where we'll consider at least giving prisoners food and not just giving them dry rice. Something I think I want you guys to talk about, and Minister Fagon, I want you to talk about this in the context of, I also saw that the coalition agreement was signed by two parties. And here we are seeing on this paper, Unity Party, Joseph Boycott, is leaving option open on possible collaboration with CPP. So on the one hand, we're talking about CDC, who we had two parties sign the framework. Surprisingly to me, because we had a lengthy conversation. Tyler was, even though he disagreed, but he was here telling us he didn't know it was a resolution that was signed and not his political signing. And now we see that despite them calling for jobs, them calling for more responsible government to the Liberian people, calling for good governance in our country, the agreement was still signed. CDC got two parties. I think only Prince Johnson is left out so far to sign this framework agreement. But on the other hand, we hear the Unity Party are keeping their doors open. What do you make of that, Minister Fagon? And then we'll go to Timberland George.
You know, when you ask for, it reminds me when I used to do fact versus fiction. The fiction here is that you have a coalition. The fact is you don't. The fiction here is that you have a nominee who has been nominated. That's the fiction. The fact is you don't. The fiction here is you have a coalition agreement. That's the fiction. The fact is you don't. So let's look at some of the facts that say you don't. You must have an agreement to have a coalition in order to be able to have a coalition. That is a fact. But you did not have a coalition. You did not have an agreement, but you had a nominee. Secondly, Mr. Tyler said here that it was a resolution, right? He did not sign it. He did not even read it, right? What will he say now about the agreement? He didn't see that one too. He did not read it. Now, we saw Joel Howard Taylor as the political leader for NPP sign on behalf of NPP. We saw the Secretary General, but we did not see the chairman. Point two, every political party, Supreme Court ruling, have their own constitution. But with the NPP, it says that the chairman will what? Call a meeting. The chairman did not. So their agreement with the Congress is incomplete because the political leader signed, Secretary General signed, no signature for chairman. That's incomplete, that's illegal, that's trash. Who signed on behalf of the Congress for Democratic Change? No one saw George Biasani, but we saw the chairman Molu, Jefferson Koji, but their political leader did not sign. Trash. We go to the LPDP. The chairman Moses Colley signed. The Secretary General signed. But Tyler is out of the country. Trash. So again, you ask me whether we have a coalition document. No, we don't. We don't, because in each party, if it's not the Congress where we are is missing, it is the NPP where Chairman Bani is missing, or the LPTP where Tyler is missing. How does that work? And here is the funny thing. To sign an agreement, you, Tomali, and myself must be present. But you, Francine, went and signed with Tomali. Then the next day, you left from there and came and signed with me. Is that an agreement? I thought three are supposed to sit down. Supposed to be a call of an event. The three political leaders are supposed to be there. The whole thing is fraud, my sister. The whole thing, in my opinion, is pay to play. And I think the three parties are playing games with the Liberian people. But just like I predicted for Bilete and Yombli, where I said Bilete had the paper, Yombli had the partisans. What you see are the executives of parties collecting what they need to collect and playing themselves. The partisans are gone already. There are a series of meetings taking place, and they will get the shock of their lives, because it happened with Yombli and Bilete, and it would definitely happen with the NPP and the LPTP. And I can say this for free. I think Tyler's senatorial bid is in jeopardy. Serious one. I can say that to anybody. It's in serious jeopardy.
Thank you. So the other part of the question was on the news front page Africa. It says that Vice President Buckeye is now being open to collaboration. He says the door not closed. That's a quotation here. Unity Party Joseph Buckeye leaves option open on possible collaboration with CPP. What are your thoughts on that?
He has always said that. And whatever happened, it is safe for me to predict to you that Joseph Buckeye will either come first or second. Either way she put it, that's going to happen. It's an old party. But if he's able to bring the CPP back together, you saw what they did. We don't need to debate that. If they come back together, it's just going to be a one round. But if we take what my sister said, Madam Yakula, or we take what Belete said, that Kumis will never, I'm quoting two of them, will never sit down to be a VP to Buckeye, then I foresee MDR and the other parties, Unity Party, Liberty Party, so forth and so on, they're going to move on. And if they do, then they either come first or second. Or if the politics play, then I'm just sorry. You're either with them or you are out of the race. So that's why he's leaving the door open. And if MDR joins him, it would mean that you have MDR, ALP, UP, and Liberty Party. I'm not counting Bilete. Bilete got a document in here and that's it. And other political parties And that could spell serious danger for the CDC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why his doors are open.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Tamalin, George, what are your thoughts with the vice president comments and with this whole idea that we now see two parties have signed the CDC coalition agreement, the framework document?
Well, first of all, let me on the coalition.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, they have as far as the concern on paper, they have a coalition though, and like I said earlier this week, when they submit the documents to the National Elections Commission, they will decide whether they accept it as a coalition. But as of today's date, CDC, MPP, and LPDP, they have fixed signatures on a document considering themselves coalition. So they are coalition. They are now the coalition of democratic change. And except someone go and challenge it or so, but they are the coalition of democratic change. Because I think from what I learned from the MPP of their own rules, or so whatever the case, in the absence where the chairman refused to sign, the vice chairman for administration, which is Attorney George Marba, he signed. I think he found his sign, and so who makes it binding? I mean, who makes it that okay, the MPP they're on board. So the MPP, LPDP, they are on board. They all signed the document with the CDC. So now they are considered the coalition of democratic change. They're submitting a document to the National Elections Commission. The commission will decide whether they will accept it as the coalition of democratic change. And when that is done, if they accept it, they are the coalition. Now, signing document is one thing. Whether the partisans will follow is left with them to encourage the partisans to follow through. So that one is left with their and their partisans. So for now, my understanding is that they have a coalition document. On the issue about the vice president, look, a lot is going on. The vice president right now, former Vice President Boyka, he is I talked to one of the parties, the MDR officials, and they told me, say, they are meeting too. They've been meeting with all sides, including the ANC, CPP, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget the PUP; they're all involved too. But at the end of the day, what I was told is that we are waiting on Vice President Boyka. We are waiting to see who he will select as his running mate. So the vice president right now, he's basically to hold up some way that until he makes his choice of VP, that whole discussion will be held, but they won't move any forward. And I heard the VP is leaving on Sunday, I think, on the way back to Liberia. So when he gets on the ground, hopefully the VP he won't delay like he did the last time. Perhaps by February or March, he might come up with his running mate. But he plays a major role in the opposition community right now. He's considered the most popular opposition leader in the country right now because of his years of in politics and on the political scene. And so right now, the LPDP, those who will not join this coalition, who consider themselves anti-CDC coalition, the remnants of the LPDP, remnants of MPP, they are the ones who will be in discussion now with the other parties. But you got the PUP, the MDR of Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Cohn. Their discussions are taking place. But at the same time, too, CDC also not sitting down too. CDC also still trying to quote the other parties. Okay, they're using some of their surrogates. Some of the most influential and experienced party political strategists to do this job. But right now, you won't hear nothing much from these guys about anything forward until Vice President Boyka makes his choice of his running mate. So right now they are all on hold and they're just discussing now. But as soon as the VP makes his choice of running mate, the things will change. Things will start falling in line. But for right now, and I'm sure, I mean, you supporting the ANC, but I don't know. I'm sure that Mr. Cummings will not make a choice too until VP Boaga makes his choice. So we don't know. But I can tell you just to end, there have been several discussions going on behind the scenes off camera by influential people in the society, and especially those who believe that Mr. Weah should be giving another 6-year term. They have been making some frantic effort discussions to see that they get a coalition together, a unity, opposition coalition together to contest against Mr. Weah, especially after on Saturday when Mr. President Weah and his CDC sent a statement out to the entire opposition community that, look, we are strong. Say what you want to say, what are you accused of paying people to come out or what? But the idea, numbers don't lie. People saw it, and we sent a message out there that we are still popular, and President Weah still enjoys the confidence of majority of Liberian people. So waiting to see. So right now, what I'm really saying, it's up to the VP Boycott, though. Trust me, until he makes that choice, things will be at a standstill, and that's where I think they are right now.
That's interesting, Timberland, because you know, there was a period in which we thought there was no way we were going to hear this conversation that the Vice President Boycott is having an open opinion about talking to CPP. You know, I never imagined that that this day would come that we would see that in the newspaper heading. But again, this is to tell you the nature of politics. You know, sometimes, Timberland, especially you always remind us on this show that sometimes things can change overnight in politics. You know, you can't be too static with your position on these different issues. So one thing we can say for sure, there's a framework agreement that was signed, whether Tyler or Bonnie signed it, or whether it is legal or not. NEC will tell us when they accept it or reject it. That's what we'll be looking out for in the next coming weeks.
There isn't.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Look, you see, people don't understand though. Look, when I see people on Facebook or talking, look, when you see two opposing sides, you see them blasting at each other and insulting people. But look, when the cameras are off and you go, when I went to Liberia, when I saw it with my own eyes, I remember I was visiting certain government official, and then the person said, "Just watch, ain't here. Watch, see who will come here." And when I looked, I saw opposition figures coming. I said, "Oh, so all the thing the people can do, they will go and they will be blasting, but behind the scene, they're talking." And right now, guess what? That was happening right now. Look, people are talking. You go right now at this time. Right now it's about 10 o'clock in Liberia now, 10:36 in Liberia. You go to either Boulevard Palace or Mama Pong Hotel or somewhere, there are people meeting, talking, or in somebody's home, they are talking. All sides are talking, and they are trying to find that common ground, that approach. Okay, they are talking, and they sit down to, mind you, CDC not sitting down to, they're talking too, trying to make sure that they infiltrate, they do. Look, politics is again a deception of a lot of ways they can do it. Some strategies to go infiltrate a party, disrupt it, the issue that the cohesion there, disrupt it, and try to come to make sure that certain things don't happen. Because at the end of the day, the CDC want to go in election where they believe they can beat even if they go to a second round, they won't be sure that they are in a stronger position to form or to get support. But here's the thing now, when you are an incumbent, right, in office, and you go to a runoff, now two things can happen. People can say, look, people win now, they don't owe us. They ain't care no more. They owe us nothing. So we we just said, "Oh, no, Sonny, we're not going to go there. We're going to go this way." Or somebody can say, "Look, they may already out. 6 more years, they may be done." So Sonny will support him, and then next 2029 will fight for him. So a lot can happen. That's why it's important that people watch what they say. Cool down the tone of the rhetorics. You gotta be very mindful because you will need people in discussion. Because if we go have discussing now, and then I found that you made some comments about me that you said you'll do this, I say, "Oh, when they put in take power, that mean will come after." So all the things will happen. So right now it's about time that people just watch and see what happened. But the reason I can show you and Fagon tonight, by around about March, before March, you see what can happen. Things will change. Okay? But I tell you, when they say the power of the Cubans, say don't forget it. They have the CDC got what it takes. They got the resources to their advantage. They got the bullet puppet, and they can do anything. If the president really make his move and start to go around the country and campaigning and make a campaign and so forth, he can change it. He can change the dynamics on the ground. But we are watching Boyka, we're watching Cummings, we're watching Tiawan, we're watching more candidates now. My General Cooper she announced she's running, Simeon Fremont running, and Akop man Lucini Kamara, and then a young guy, Dr. Clarence Moneyba. Okay, that's somebody who again, I mean, he may not go. I mean, people may just dismiss it right now, but we don't know. He may make some impact. We don't know yet, but we're watching him too. So a lot going on right now. People are talking. So let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks and see.
Absolutely. Can I say something?
If I'm going to come in, I was just going to ask you to come in to give your opinion.
Look, when it comes to political season, yes, Tomali, you're right. For me, like I said, at the end of March, I will inform Liberians which side I'm on and where I'm headed. Because by the end of March, you should know where you are at. Right now, dust is in the air. This election, like I said, it's going to be difficult for the president. For example, Tomali, let me give you an example. If this president is going to Lofa, and we're looking for prominent citizens of Lofa to escort him, I'm not talking about the Molu and the Kojis and the Tomafala. I said prominent citizens who can hold your hand and cross the bridge. That when they were you, Koji, Molu, and these people, they don't even come near. I'm looking who you think will escort him across the bridge. When I'm looking at Nimba County, for example, and I'm looking for prominent citizens who will hold the hand of the president and say, let's go across the bridge. Who's going to escort him? When I take a look at Bon County, and we're naming 6 prominent citizens, maybe, Henri Topa, Prince Moi, the 2 senators first, Henry Yala, Jeremiah Slonte, Papi Colley. Who's going to hold your hand and carry you across that bridge into Bon? It's not about you saying, I will come to my people. It's which of the prominent citizens is ready to take you. When I look at Bassa, and I look at Jonathan Kaipe, Nyombli Kanga, the next person I'm looking at is Charlene Bromskin, and the mayor who Nyombli Une beat by 2,000 votes, Bezonga Finley. And I'm asking myself, Daniel Chair, the former defense minister, Louise Brown, who's going to hold you to carry you across the bridge into Bassa? I'm worried. As a politician, I know how our people are with their local leaders. Who's going to carry you? You only got your friends for the last 3 years have been Eugene Angbe, Fina Bono, Kalasco, Percy Yeke, Mawani Dix, Pisota. Those have been your cabinet right around you. Because Magel is not there. And me who was near the place, I didn't see Tua inside there much. So you can come now to the other side, Jefferson Koji, Molba Molu. But you and Akaras Mayflower, you and Thomas Falayana Mayflower. So, how are you going to operate? When we are saying that this election will be hard for President Weah, We're not saying it because we want to envy him. We are looking at factors. That a government job we're looking at. We're looking at factors. Then when we look at Western Cluster, snow is unpopular in Bomi. Very unpopular now because of that Western Cluster deal. The Senate stopped it. The Supreme Court put a hold on it temporarily. And the Bomi people are not happy. As for Setuma, he been there forever. He stayed out here to build a hand pump for the Dewan people. Let's go to Kitman. CDC is not popular there. Simeon Taylor had to win on Dr. Francine Antique, ANC. Then join them. Then you got Vani Shema. How? Mr. Weah did not win Bapolu, Botokane, Daniel Yeten, and of course the Unity Party stalwart Amara Kone. Who's going to carry you across the bridge into Bapolu? So, all Mr. Weah is doing right now, our President Weah is doing, is hoping that other parties can join him. But his worst fear, and I'll say this in closing, he knows he will not win Monserrado. The two counties that we were hoping as a strategist of the CDC at the time, I was looking at Magibi and Basso. Now we rule out Basso. Dr. Francine, the two senators in Magibi, who Emmanuel Nukwe and what you call him, Tonola. PUP owns Magibi. The two senators there are from PUP. They told President Weah, and I was there, I'm a witness, do not bring a candidate against us here. We defy them, we put Abba June against Nukwe. Can you imagine telling somebody in their own territory, I will put somebody that will beat you? Nukwe say, you'll bring the person. He beat Abba June like Markedor. Then he turned around, he said, do not bring anybody here again. Then they went and put Magé on them. So it's Nukwe and Tonola and the people of Magibi versus Nathaniel Mageo. So PUP, Nukwe and Tonola, they're gone. Who's going to take you into Magibi? Magela my own brother. We know what we call political transplants. All the people you see in Magé camp right now, who camp they were in? If the two senators, Tonola and Nukwe, have been running that county, who camp you think they were in? They were in the two senators' camp. And from reports we're getting, we're hearing they say that cow meat, they went eat their own. When it's time for election, they will return to base. So I think President Weah is in a much difficult position. And that is why I predict that if the opposition put their things together, this is going to be a first round victory. It's going to be a blow up.
The question is, what is actually good for Liberia? There can be all this really, this dealing and whining in the background. People are coming together, collaboration parties are connecting. And for me, the bottom line is when you guys make these deals, or not you guys per se, not my colleagues here, are you thinking about the Liberian people? Are we going back to think in somebody again? I know I see your smirk on your face, like it's politics, okay? So are we going to go back to the same conversation where maybe 6 years from now, maybe someone in it, like the likes of Prince Johnson will say, well, you owe Nima Kante $7.5 million, you didn't give it to us. Will somebody from Bomi County say, oh, you owe us $5 million, you didn't give it to us? Will somebody, from Bonnie or Tyler would say, oh, you promised that you're going to give all partisans or all Liberians jobs, not just only CDC partisans job. We never receive it. Then we'll come back to the same place again where the Liberian people continue to suffer, but in the name of us collaborating, in the name of us political party, we will be offering feedback to say, oh, you don't qualify or you don't have the stamina for this position. We don't want to do any of that. We just want to continue to keep Liberia where it is. And that is my concern, okay? As long as we're doing this negotiations, but ultimately, We got Liberian people at I want to use the word at heart, but I don't want to use it in the same way that some other political party can use it. All right. And people will make this analogy and say, this is politics. In the United States government, this happens in the United States government. The difference between Liberia and the United States government is that America have a system that have existed for many, 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 many years. Their system worked in concert. Okay. Joe Biden, as old as he is, can rely on Congress to pass laws, bills, or protest a law or a bill. He can rely on his judicial system. He can rely on the citizens of the United States to go out and vote. He can rely on the police will stop me if I run the traffic light 9 out of 10 times. Okay. The laws work for the most part. They do what it's supposed to do. They are consistent. Yes, we got hiccups at times. But our country we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So this comparison that people tend to make, Liberia is like America, blah, 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 blah. The wheelings and dealing will continue as politics. Let's put our country first, development of our country first. And then sometimes maybe this whole wheeling and dealing will make sense to me. But go ahead, Tamale. I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, the reason, I told you when you're in Liberia, I said what you, Amanda, right, what you guys was doing was good. Hope you guys had the resources and you guys have started long years ago. But you guys, one of the biggest things is voter education. Look, what you're saying is true, but that's going to happen in a developed country like America, the democracy that America, not Liberia though. Because look, right now, if you notice,
what change now?
Yeah, but you know what will change? The day Liberia gets when our leadership takes place, it starts with the leadership. When you get a leadership that are there for the people and believe in the people, that's when we change. That's why they say Taylor used to say, above all else, the people that matters, and that's what should happen. The people. Look, right now, all those you have 73 persons running for re-election in the House of Representatives, and 15% for senator. What they do right now? They are meeting the people everywhere you turn now. They go kill cow. They're doing things, meeting the people. They giving money. I saw one video with Vanny Sherman. He been there since 2005.
I saw that video. I laughed.
He said, "When I come out next time, I give up to the public of cement. The player, so when I come out next time, we have to play all cement."
He said, "You're my in-law."
My in-law. Okay. So right now, and what they do right now, he even said, I will call your son, Jeremiah Kun, to come and help me here with y'all, talk to y'all. So what they do right now, they are trying to get re-elected. And the people that you always saying, people are always saying, is the people. If I'm a citizen, as I realized that for the last couple of years.
Thank you. Speak to me.
If I never show up yet. He can't tell him. He just to pop and come sit down and have a weekend, go by business. But now I come and see him trying to meet with us now. I know very well that it only for him about himself. Election over, he gone. So the people should understand, because somebody will go there and to go and talk to them. The person don't carry money, they'll say, you're back, watch out, They'll say, let man go, let person go, man. When other person come now, the person got money. And what the guys did, even in the budget now, you got to make sure put money in the budget that to go and finish projects that they're doing in the counties and the districts. Okay, correct. They go to complete projects and so forth. They put the money to encourage the people. They'll say, okay, I'm fixing the bridge. I'm fixing I give you a hand pump and so forth. The people should be able to say, look, the people there, they're fooling us. But if they love the situation, they'll continue to vote the way they're always voting. Because how in the world, I don't know that these people never took care of any something substantive here, but now they come to ask for a vote. Because the budget before them right now, there is where you should be able to say, look, you tell your colleagues and say, look, my district, we have a public school there that need renovation. I want to put money in the budget so we can renovate that public school and equip that school. But all they want their own projects. One year people saying, oh, at my project, I'm doing this one. But because our people, they are turning into beggars, and that's what they will always reach out to them. You know, I was going to in Liberia. I was going to visit somebody's house. I got to the person's house. The fence, people all there sitting on the ground. I said, so I said, what are they sitting outside for? My man, they can't beg. They want something. But when I finish, I'll go there and take care of them. So how do people to be going to your house in the morning and they go beg and you give them it? This happened from early time. Continue the president. We have time, and so until the people can realize that their vote is the power that they have to change the situation. We all find ourselves in this thing because right now the people are seeking re-election, and I can say all the 73 of them. If it left with me, look, almost 95% of them shouldn't go back to the house, and there should be no way you should have buffer chambers and our chairs, speaker and pro tem respectively. No way. For what? The guys have not done anything to say, well, have changed the people's lives. You should not get a position back. I hope that in the next legislature we have a new speaker and a new pro tem, and not these people are there. That's why it is important, as the parties are negotiating right now, behind the scene, in negotiating good faith, so that part of negotiation should be, if we support you, we want the protest to come from our party, or for this reason. But just to end, look at the legislature. Majority of the members there are from the opposition camp. But guess what happened? The speaker from the ruling establishment, the pro tem from the ruling establishment, and our opposition people there, they're just there. So like Vanny Sherman said, from UPO, but right now, I think they are independent because they can identify with the Unity Party. So honestly, that problem we're facing in our country is serious.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I just say something?
Yes, come in, Minister Fagan. Thank you.
When I was with the government, part of the things that used to make me make flower with my friend, and let me put it that way, we used to fuss all the time. What we used to fuss about? You know, I don't know how to deceive someone. I don't know how to be a sycophant, especially if you went to school for this thing. And you know it like Dr. Francine. You are a teacher in the classroom. Then you still can't also to fool the students there. I can't do that. When we took over in 2018, January, by the following year, January, the president was supposed to take a tour to say, oh, Papa, thank you for electing me. Oh, some of all who went to tour, they wanted to be us. COVID did not come until November of 2019. Our dry season time is between January all the way up. November came, Mr. President, we need to go tell the public, oh, my man, I need to do something first. Then I go tell the people and say, listen, send your for me here. This is what I've done, this is what I've done, this is what. Chief, you can't wave magic wand to face something in 1 or 2 years. But the fact that the people elected you, you have to go back to them and say, thank you.
Yes.
The president never did it. From 2018, January, he took office all the way. We entered 2019, 0. Of course, 2020, you know what was happening. The pandemic. When did the president take a country tour? 2021. 2021. When we were going in those bushes, the people were saying, see, they won. It take power. 2018, we not seen. 2019, we not seen. 2020, we not seen. At 2021, now you can't say, you come in to tell, oh, thank you. After 4 years, you know our people. After 4 years, and now you come back to say thank you. That was the first problem we had. Since that 2021 county tour and the way we broke it up, I knew we had a problem. Let's go to the second problem we had. Most of the president's beautiful projects, if you take note, parks, marketplaces and stuff, most of it are in places where he figured out it's either his friend people, or somehow. For example, today, I got 4 calls. And what did people tell me? The man I do it again. I said, what? He not do it again. I said, tell me something. The new Solicitor General. He not take a crew man again, put in there. So I'm like, huh? Then I remember, I said, oh, Nanti Twan. They say, yeah, that the man. So if you take immigration from Southeast, you take police from Southeast, you take DEA, whatsoever, everybody from Southeast. The problem that you don't have numbers in those areas. If you keep denying Nimba, Lofa, they say, oh, the people get deputy minister job. The people won't hire up jobs too. But when we look at everything, LRA, Southeast. The port, Southeast. Ministry of Finance, Southeast. Central Bank, Southeast. Pro Tem, Southeast. Deputy Speaker, Southeast. Speaker, Southeast. Hotel, Southeast. Your friend in here too. That's part of the reason I fear. Because when people hit the campaign trail and less these kind of things in front of the other people, how you think they feel? How you think they will feel when they list everybody? They say, oh, something happened to the president today and the vice president. Who will take over? Southeast. Speaker. Something happened to the speaker. Chief Justice. Southeast. What you gonna do? If everybody you appoint Southeast. So I'm saying, like what Tomalin was saying, our people, it's left with them.
Yes.
But Tomalin, sometimes the same people you're talking about, their school fees, their food, their small thing comes from the very senators there. The government does not make appropriations for them. Look at what happened with Nimba, Basso, and Bon.
Yes.
There's 7.5 million a con. Who eat it? Look at what happened with Bomi, Kepa, and Bapolu. They're 5 million con. It was the 5 million that Snow came to fire he joined high water. You know that he came for us to help him fight for the 5 million. Now I knew we was smarter than that. I close by saying to you, Dr. Francine, Nimba County in 2017 had 214 votes, 214,000 votes up for grasp. Prince Johnson alone carried 53%, which was about 107 or so thousand. Guess what happened in the second round now? There was no Prince Johnson and other people. Joseph Boaka came next to Prince Johnson, not Jowia. But when it was only Joseph Boaka and George Weah, because of Prince Johnson, I know you found this, I'm looking at my screen right here. Guess how many people voted for George Weah? Yeah, right there, 73,000 people. In the first round, Prince Johnson won by 170,000, right? He gave a vote to George Weah. But George Weah won in the second round, to be precise, 73,434. You say, but then what did Joseph Boaka get? 55,000. I want you to think about it. Second round, 50 and 70,000. That's just 20,000 different, right? Compared to the first round, where the people came out massively. So now, they only gave 73,000 votes. The man where everybody was against, including myself, got 55,000 votes. You only beat him by about 20,000. Today, Prince Johnson not on your side, and you ate the people money, and that 214,000 votes will cripple you, because Nimba will vote in unison for their money. You will be lucky if you get 14,000. You will not get it. that alone will offset anything that happens. Let alone the same thing with Lofa. That's why I keep saying, if you cannot win Lofa, Nimba, Pong, Magidi, and Monserrato, the only thing I can do for you is say, nice meeting you, and say the sign across.
Yeah, wow. Wow. Thank you guys. My thought about this whole project by the legislators, and also I think the executive branch condone those projects, is to say it's not sustainable. You know, it is what happens if they are not elected? Then the project goes to waste. The project is not funded. So, like everybody, you guys are saying, it's better that they appropriate this money in the budget, or it's better to give the people their $7.5 million or their $5 million, or don't take the PSIP money for the president alone to do tour in the country, which is $150 million. So let it go to these different counties for the people, because all of them doing these small little projects, feeding the people, giving them small something for the people to be in their pocket, for them to be in favor of the people. But that is why we're here. People, you are hearing us. This small money that they're giving you will not help at all, because if these people are not elected or something happen, they would rather take their family to come first than you that they're giving this small money to. So it's better for us to have sustainable project. Let it be in the budget. You're asking, you're telling, let them put it in the budget, so today or tomorrow something happen, it can continue on. The next person will continue it on. You know, but right now, as it stands, everybody just doing their own thing in our own country. And the last question I have for you guys is the role of money in politics here in Liberia. How do we look at when we look at our candidates? You know, some people right now, Joe Buckeye is in the United States. He's having a fundraiser. We don't know. It's tonight, right? Today's Thursday, I believe it's tonight. Yeah. So we don't know how much he has in his coffers. Some people can say that is the woman's problem, money. You know, while other people might say the other candidate, the president, like Tony referred to, the president has the Liberian people resources, the coffer. He's an incumbent. He has the resources. And then of course there's Mr. Cummings, who's in the middle, where, you know, many say that he has his own money. Although, you know, having your own money still means that you need to collect money. He's supported by a lot of diaspora people. I heard Falcon the last time talking about how when we raise money, how it can be. You know,
no, I was talking about the food.
No, you're talking about the money too. You still can raise money.
Yeah, but how you tell somebody 200 jacket?
Hey, don't worry about that. Don't worry. Don't.
People want to see we are talking or Sonny. You go
diet.
I'm telling you.
We're diet.
You go there before?
Yeah, too.
With carrot, then they fry one small chicken thigh, lay aside.
No,
you get to. If you go to the got something to say to you, you will just feel weird. You say, you know, you didn't come here to eat. You got your food to your house.
That reason, Mrs. Sonny, though.
Go ahead, sir.
You know, elections have consequences, though. Let me let you guys know. So, when you president, you those who you appoint, they serve at your way and pleasure. You have the power, the authority to nominate, and the Senate will advise with the consent. Okay, so right now, and I will say this: Liberia is not like other countries like America or so, though. Look, what I was told, there are projects that have been earmarking almost all throughout the country in important areas that the president will be dedicating that as it goes on his nationwide tour and the campaign trail, and the people will see it and so forth. And the problem is that with the opposition not really united, because by now, even if they will all not be on the same ticket, you have not signed a non-aggression pact. Say, look, here's our pact. We agreed that we will not attack each other. We will refrain from attacking each other. All our intention, our whole fight will be against the ruling establishment. And then they come out like what they do in NATO. And they attack on one of us, they attack on all of us. Okay, so that means, but instead, what they're doing, although you see them on social media or in the public, go on the various shows in Liberia, attacking each other. And as a result, say what you want to say. The president now they got a coalition together. Maybe they are remnants that are fracture members there.
Say they got coalition on paper.
Well, by far the concern, they got coalition together.
Today?
They get coalition together. Okay, so they are moving. Now, when they're moving, the president will say, MPP, let's go. And LPDP, let's go. And then besides that too, you're going to see in the coming weeks, coming months, you'll see people cross carpeting. Tomorrow they say, oh, so people are going to apply, they're going to apply support to President Weah. They're going to join the coalition. You'll see it happening because they're in the driver's seat. They got the resources to their advantage. They will do anything to bring you on board. And the president is on his seeking re-election. He will do everything in his power to ensure that he's re-elected. That means he will, and that means next you'll get it to happen. And one thing, talking about funding. Look, let me share something with y'all. Maybe most people don't know. When you are in Liberian politics, right, and you are the major, if you are the face of the opposition in election, let me tell you something. Some of these companies you see in Liberia, some of these concerned people there, they will support you quietly. You know why? They say, look, there's a possibility that this man will be president tomorrow. So if we're giving it, we must do it quietly, we'll do it undercover. They won't know about it. They'll support it. You think everyone keep on saying JMB broke, UP broke. Forget it. If UP stand strong, if they stand strong and they post it as the leading opposition, you know what money coming from? Y'all be surprised. When I see JMB then UP got them parading new trucks, motorbike, they'll say, oh, well, guess what happening? That politics. If people can say, look, somebody can say, look, these people, from what we see in Liberia now, this man could be the possible the next president. So we'll support them quietly. They will do it. So don't look and say, oh, they broke. You'll be surprised. You'll say, oh, we saw UP headquarters. We saw them with brand new motorbikes, new trucks, pickups. You'll say, where coming from? Forget it. You saw last election that racing. People saw Liberty Party. My man Ben. Everything Ben was chairman. One low that they don't enjoy. All they don't do. They don't say. He said, "I go fishing. Guess what happened? New people coming on board, and they were bringing people on board. At one point in time, we all thought Liberty Party were going to win election. Until something happened later on. So politics is not started. It's dynamic and change. So we shouldn't walk and say the person broke. Trust me, no.
So
let me add this quickly. Let me just add this. Tomali, I got breaking news for you. You see, politics is all about strategy. Those people who went and signed with the coalition, all right, they did so because they were promised jobs. They were giving inducements.
Exactly what I'm
saying. They finally said, oh, we gave you jobs. They finished signing. Guess what's going to happen? I heard from a leading source in the Senate today. Say, if I'm going to leave them. There are 27 senators that are not seditious in the Senate. They said, if I'm going to leave them, they're coming. We'll step on all of them. What does that mean? You have seen it yet? You saw how long it took the speaker to get to where he's going. It's called legislative politics. When the president decides to appoint anybody, those guys who you say are from the opposition, any committee they go on, they better make sure CDC is in the majority. If the coalition is not in the majority, my brother, you don't have a job. This is why the president should have done this before the signing. I mean, not the president. The NPP and the LPDP should have played the cards. And that's what Barney and his man said, no. Do the appointment first. We know how you treated us. What's it called? He said, no. 31 million flying in the air. Now, if the president appoints you, I'm not talking about you going, they plug them in somewhere, you get out and something. You get all of them something. No. Appointments. Where you have to go before the Senate. You're going to meet 27 opposition people, and they will step on you. As it relates to the money issue you asked about, Dr. Francine, trust me, As soon JMB and his people work things out, most of JMB money, you know where it will come from? It will come from in the same government. It happened in 2017. I dare Tomalin to say that lie. It happened in 2017. The Eugene Nangbe, the Samia Wulude, all of them, they were coming. No wonder the first appointments that were made in the government, that was Samia Wulu, Eugene Nangbe, Celia Coffee, they were bro. I speak like cool man.
Yeah, we pronounce
How the team were looking. They were bro. Eugene Nangbe, Celia Coffee, Samia Wulu. He called all of them, but they were from the ruling establishment. They were from United Party. Then he turned around to a man. So in the same government, all the people were minister, this and that. So we will be saying now whether in the night they will carry a parcel. Pape? Yeah, we already know. Because they already know. CDC got the feeling. Look, if you make one post, the way it will cost you. They got the feeling. They are worried about Lofa. Because they know, they say, we're not win Lofa, but we'll put up a fight. Okay. Nimba. Now with Prince Johnson, they say, we can't win Nimba. We'll put up a fight. In Basso, Bezonga, we can't win Basso, but we'll put up a fight. Bon County was the first county to tell the VP, we are not voting for you. And she made a comment, if you don't vote for us, we'll still win. It happened with Lofa. So, Bon, out of the question. So they are greatly worried because Monserrato is not setting. So money, I'll give you an example. I don't want to leave you without giving it to you. Tobali said, CDC got all the resources. Tobali is right. They got all the money. But when we put up Polito, we brought a 500 bundle in plastic. They beat all the market door.
Mm-hmm.
When we put up Tomafala, he brought ATM machine. You didn't need card. You just needed to say a sedition. They beat us the market door. Now, we went ATS recently. We brought a 1,000 bill. They will beat us like Fufu or Dumbo, like GB. And that's one beating they will give up. And I can tell you that because we are not in the position to defend anything.
Yeah. And so what I'm gathering is ultimately the decision is the Liberian people, and they have to make the choice to move our country to the space of development. They have to look at all of the presentations of the different candidates and say, this person talks about development, okay, of our country. So everything you guys are saying to me, there's an element of pay to play, okay? When you come and tell me that person got money, but people right in the government who got money will get them money because the first appointment will be from the same people in here. Okay? Or you kind of tell me that, you know, as let me tell those small company in like they will bring them money. You know what? As let me tell when I get them money just for no reason. The Wulu that you talk about where he get money for no reason. No. So ultimately, like people want you to think about these people. Politics is part of the wheeling and dealing that we're talking about here today. But ultimately, we want our country to develop. I know my colleagues here, we enjoy the amenities in the poor country, but ultimately our labor stream of bearing Liberia, we want to see our Liberia a better place. We want to be able to at least go and see that the children are in school. They're not on the street selling, because the children are the future generation for the country. If you keep on the training, selling, then when they become old, who will take care of the country? We want to be able to won't get sick. Me, all of us here, I'm sure. I don't know about you, Timon job. I know me if I go. The past 50 now.
Okay. Past 50, long time.
Okay. The Timothy just stay young. I don't know. But okay. But we want to be able to adjust your kid. Okay, you got a young love to Timothy. You know, we want to be able to go back where we can say you got hospital to use. Okay. And we got it. It's not that we got the retirement money to show all that. We won't be able to go back and say we get sick. We ain't got to fly out to Turkey. We ain't got to fly out to Ghana. We ain't got to fly out to India. We can stay right in our country. There was a time that happened in Liberia. You know, I remember the Vice President Green. I was in Burma by that time, young. He died right in Burma. We had hospitals that could take care of people, you know. But yeah, it's the country that we got now. Everybody wheeling, dealing, talking about they want this position, they want that position. Let's talk about the development of our country. Who can rule our country or taking the $7.5 million and say we are redirecting it to somewhere else? They say they're taking money for road fund. We can't see the road fund. They say they're taking $11 million for rice money. We still got rice shortage. Even the people got to cancel the rice shortage for the prisoners here today. No, y'all think better. I beg y'all, grandpa. We really begging y'all think better. So having said my own piece about all of them willing and dealing, that is there. That where we stop at for tonight to is 6:18. I will ask you, Mr. Falcon, to give your 6:30 to give your closing remark. I don't think that anything else, except if there's anything else I'm missing that we need to talk about, Timothy.
Yeah, I just want for James to put that loud clip up.
Okay, yes, please do that. James, do that, and then we can close the show.
Yeah, James, you really can put it up for me.
I would like to openly apologize to Senator Darrell Taylor and members of the legislature. Apology is usually seen as a chance to be honest, a chance to be willing to reconcile, and a chance to be truthful. Thank you very much. And
yes. I think it was when he earlier said that Senator Dillon was on the security radar and so forth, and the police took exception to that they wanted to. How can you have a member of the Senate honor your security? Say the person is on security radar. So I think the Inspector General of Police Sudu was making an apology to clarify that Senator Dillon is not on security radar and so forth. So I want to clarify earlier because I spoke on it. Yeah, but that was a security meeting today, and I think they did well by engaging the Senate to come up to at least get an understanding how things will be. The Senate said the police said they'll be meeting the various parties soon, so they all can be on the same page. Because this election will be very tense. We know it will be tense. It will be tough, and it will be especially when it starts the campaigning and rally starts. It will be very tough. So we pray that every resources available will be put to the disposal of the security forces to ensure that peace and stability remains for our election throughout the electoral process. Yeah, that reason. Thanks. I just want to make that clarification. Yeah.
Thank you, Timothy, and that's what we do here on Spoon. When things need to be clarified, we definitely do that. Thank you. So we're going to go to our parting comments, our closing remarks. I will start with Fagon, and then we'll go to Timothy George, and then I'll be the last, and then we can go home for the night.
Well, thank you, Dr. Richardson. And let me say to the Liberian people, when it's in your favor, then you clap for the person. When it's not in your favor, then you insult the person. But I like to say in 2016, 2017, I gave you guys predictions, and I want to braggingly, boastfully say I was the lead campaigner, meaning everybody else was competing from the president down. But every day at 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, it was Eugene Fagon on the radio in Liberia. What a Lofa, Grand Jita everywhere. No one else. I was the lead campaigner. And almost everything I predicted came to pass. I'm giving you guys the same predictions. Don't underestimate what I'm saying. It's math. Go and sit down and look at yourselves. Look at the fact that your president took over, never went to say thank you until after 4 years. Look at the auditors that died, including other people that died mysteriously. Look at your president saying, you're sorry, or I didn't know they call your money, and you were making below minimum wage. I could go on and on and on. But when I told the CDC that you needed the 3-hour formula, they rejected it. What did I ask them to do? Everybody my witness. We saw the letter coming from the NEC. I told my people, you have to use the 3-hour formulas. They said, what is it? I said, reconstruction, reconciliation, and reorganization of the party. Oh, they played to cost me. Just as I told them about the 3-day free call about harmonization. Today, 3 days ago, they're fighting to maintain instead of reconstructing, maintain the coalition, which has now turned out to be a complete fraud. If we had reconstructed the coalition, we would have brought in more parties and reconstructed the whole organogram of the coalition. They rejected it. They cost me. That video is there. If somebody had a way said they were going to finish me. The second area I called for was to reconcile the party. There were too many disenchanted seditions. In short, more disenchanted seditions than there were other seditions. In 3 elections, they punished us. They wanted to beat me again. They said they would carry me under the sycamore tree and finish me. I told them they needed to reorganize the party. What did I mean? I listened to the vice president. You know, other people will join on. Then we reorganize everything. That now, Jefferson Koji said we need to call a meeting for reconciliation. That now, we need to bring other parties. The thing you're not know, you're leaving. But because you're close to the president, you're put him in cocoon and weaved in the country cloth. Here we are today, looking at defeat in the eyes. We're staring down at defeat. I love my brother Tomali. But tonight, I want to tell you, Tomali, just sit down. Show the map on the bureau. Put everything, or maybe I will take my own and just send it to you. Just look at the map carefully. And the only question I want you to ask yourself, can we win here? Can we win here? And as you come to a conclusion as to whether he can win or not, use why or in. And when you are finished, I want you to look at your own analysis. I don't do this out of hatred. I do it out of what I know. Trust me, when you are done tonight, tomorrow you'll come back and say, we are in a mess. We are in a mess. Because I can tell you one of the weapons from the arsenal that will be used is the division that the president created, where Southeasterners are appointed. But if you look at the beneficiaries of everything President Weah have done, the Southeast have been left out. I challenge anybody to a debate. Go Maryland. Everything Ellen put there and left there, I ate there. Go to Grand Coup, Sando. You pay us in your own time. Instead of putting 25 here, 25, you put 100 in your own time. Go to the Southeast. Go and see, ask President Weah in the whole Southeast.
And you see, far over there, a beautiful place over there, Ofago.
They lie that Ellie brought it into Maryland and those places. Zulu whiskey. Can I you? They were there already. So the people say in the Southeast, they're crying on you. And then the people on the side, they're crying on you. You can't satisfy everybody. But Tomali, you can talk to everybody. That I can say. And I can say, oh yes, the president cannot satisfy everybody. But when you, president, call a speech from everybody until election time, Tomali is hard. Tomali, if you were I close by saying, if you were behind the president, or you ever travel behind him, and you just stay in the crowd to listen to talk, you will get discouraged. Yeah, in account. Election time coming in account. Bring it, we eat it free. That free money we eat it. And I had your son. Look at it, man. Look at you, how you looking? You all right. We gave you our work for you. Now even come out to say thank you. I was there. Then I said, oh, but y'all know the pandemic, the person I pick you, man. Now he going back. He went there 2021. And you and I know that after 2021, now 2022, we saw the president county tour. 2023, going out to go ask for vote. In every county, you have to tell the people what you did for them. And mind you, Tomali, mind you, that's why I say when you go home, when the president go to the poor county in an election year, you expect Dillon to follow him. Dillon not going there. You expect Prince Moy then to go meet him. That election year, it will be bang bang. It will be bang bang. And those who are looking for job, forget it, they will step on you. If you pass Senate confirmation, I know you can pass 12 grade in ABC. Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Nice show. You always do good. And my understanding is that it was you who called Facebook yesterday and told them to shut us down so that you can maintain your job. No problem.
Don't worry. See somebody pick right here. Yeah?
Okay. Let me say this. Look, you know, one of the good things is that when you sit in certain position, you get information coming from all over the place. Look, let me say, why is it true that some of us we are independent right now in this election?
Hey, somebody come to the independent place again.
Independent, yeah. But I'll tell you this though.
You protected somebody.
I'll tell you this. Fagon, maybe you are looking weird. I'll tell you true story, but I can tell you this. My understanding is that President Weah, he got tentacles in every part of the country. He got his auxiliaries there, and that you guys maybe people don't know, and they are well organized, and you'll be surprised when he starts his going on the county tour. What the opposition there saying now, 40 and 1 and says, stay on to find out who will be the running mate. President Weah is not sleeping. I tell you that for a fact. What I know, he has auxiliaries in every county, and they are responding to it. Young people too. So don't overlook him and think, say, yeah, because Liberian people, you know, the people we are gullible, they could forget. And for some reason, we are tomorrow you go to the Zogos group, he and I will play soccer. They will and they will all fall behind him. And then number two, I'll say again that one of the advantage when you have the resources to your advantage, you can use it. So if you think that he just saying now he's seeking re-election, he just saying that it will happen, he knows that he got a lot of challenges ahead of him. He knows that well, though. He knows that there are people who are bitter with him. There are people who felt left behind. But so he's making his effort, doing his stuff. But I tell you the truth, so don't overlook and things that he abandoned people like that. Especially so when the opposition had to come up with a ticket. As I always say, until we see the ticket, for now, we're just still watching the opposition camp. Because when we see Boyka announce his running mate, Cummings announce his running mate, and the others say, I want, and you name it, Clarence Moneybar, and Lucine Camara, Simeon Freeman, all the people announce their running mate, and we'll see it taking shape, then we know what's happening. But at the same time, while that's happening, we are in people, they're not sitting down, they're making efforts. People have been sent all over the country, all in the counties, and the auxiliaries are working, they are at work. So I will not just sit down and say, oh, I ignore what I've been told, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. So they are also fighting back, also preparing for the election. So we shouldn't run them, get them out. It will be a fight. If you talk to them, they will tell you, say, in the public will say, look, one round. They're politics. They will say, yeah, 1 round victory. But they see now they know very well that it's just mathematically impossible to win a 1 round election in the present political calculation right now. It's just impossible. So the opposition should not just sit and say, oh, because all the things that happened in the last 5 years. So you get about talking about it now. And I'm also talking about it on talk show. The Liberia people can talk about it now. All the things happened in 5 years. All about the various thing, the money middle, all the things that happened, the people that died. The people talk about it now. Only we can talk about it sometimes. Right now, the people are just looking at election and what's in it for them. So if the people don't go and make their case to the people, who will do it? We are not on the ballot. We are not in Liberia say we campaigning, going places from district to district to campaign. No. So it's left with the opposition candidates, those who running, those the partisans who will go Liberia on the campaign trail from district to district making a case. But if you just say, oh yeah, we are did this, we are did that, we are not saying now we are fighting back. He gave auxiliaries in all the counties. And in Lofa County, for me, I can tell you if JB is on the ticket, there's no way anybody will win Lofa County. He'll win Lofa County. But I can tell you, with level investment cities that have carried on, Thomas Fala, Koji, and all the guys that are putting into Lofa County, they will get the votes they got in the last election. They will pass that vote. Now you talk about the other counties. Oh yes, with level investment that have been that they are putting into Lofa County, there's absolutely no way CDC will get that same vote, the same vote they had the last time in 2017. No, their votes will increase. But if JB is running, he will win Lofa County. There's no way Lofa County people will see the son on the ticket and they will not vote for him. Same with Nima County. If a Nima son is on the ticket, that person will win that county. Nima son will win that county. But it depends on the investment. And I know there are some parties that are making investment in Nima County. Yeah, they will. But and one thing we should get clear tonight: the votes that you see 2017, it's not in the bank. Say they keep it storing there for you. No. So the people when you put about the votes they got 2017, no, it's not being stored for you. You gotta go by and fight for the votes. So when people say, "Oh, communist 7%," I mean, communist, you think communist 7% that what would remain for him for 2023? No, it's coming do his work well. If party put a plan together, you can never tell what can happen. Coming school surpass what people thinking about him. But at the end of the day, do not think say the votes you had 2017 is the votes are being kept in some storage for you. So yeah, one time when the authority come and you want our votes now. No, you got to fight for every vote. Okay, and get it clear. One of the things, Prince Johnson, I think he took 4th or 5th place last election. This election, he's not on the president, he's not running for president, running for senator. So it'll be a difference there. You see, it'll be a difference. And look, it's all about that coalition, putting together and planning and strategizing well. Because people will fight for the votes. They will fight for the votes come 2023, October. You got to go up there and campaign for the votes. But if you were looking, the CDC right now and things say they will just surrender. No, people fighting for the political life. You know what it takes to be in power for 6 years, and for the first time you enjoying all the luxury, traveling the world, and you get, people who never had anything before they have it today. They have it today. If I never had a home 5 years ago, but I got a beautiful home. My bank account is full. You think the guys will surrender easily? The guys will fight for it with every fiber of their being to ensure they are re-elected. So don't think they will fight and just say, oh yeah, we'll give up. No. Huh? And just we will fight for everything. He wants to make sure that he's re-elected. So he will do everything possible to get re-elected. I see that too. Opposition, when you put your eyes together, get your ticket. Ajah Cummings will say, I will fight with every fiber of my being to ensure that maybe we are one-term president. Same with Joseph Boyka, whatever the case. But right now, since Saturday, there have been a lot of discussion happening because on stakeholders, those who were saying they were not involved in Liberian politics now, they're getting involved now. Say, look, also Saturday, we may take it or leave it. Whether the people shock people, whether they give $1,000 note, whether they pay people, but the fact of the matter is that there were people who were there genuinely, they were present at that rally. There are citizens who were there, the people came out and they are in support. We cannot just say, oh yeah, people, trust me, that's just mere speculation. So we're talking about. So if they think that it will just happen automatically, no. You better go and campaign and fight for every vote. Put the egos aside and fight for it. Put the pride aside. If you put country first, go for it. But if sometimes I wonder, what you guys depend on when somebody tell me say, oh, we'll win. We'll win what? What will see? I see no move. How you win? So it's about time that they put their act together and think and know that they're in a dog fight. The election will be a dog fight election. People will fight for every vote. Okay? They will fight for every vote. So don't just push it aside. And the reason, look, just to say the wrap up, the issue about the joint security today was good with the Senate. I hope they continue it. And also the young man who were protesting today at the Capitol building. I mean, I pray that he will seek justice. And I condemn the way he was treated, manhandled by the two security guards. I took him out, the three of them. It was manhandled. I think it was wrong. Everybody has the right to protest and to express themselves, in a democratic space. So I don't think it was right how you were treated. And concerning the vice president, as I earlier said, DB Boyka, right now he's the man everybody watching. So when I see they say he got a door open, before that woman make that choice for his running mate, he would rather look at all sides, make sure that all T's are crossed and I's are dotted, to make that final call. It may be surprising. He may think a young person who don't know. A young person could be the vice president running mate, or somebody who we're not expecting to be a running mate. But could there be a surprise for the entire country and the world that, oh my God, we not thought this could happen. And to me, that's what I'm thinking. That Burger Pig will be, everybody will say, wow. Hard thing, he may surprise the people. Say, well, people say, we never saw this coming. We thought it was impossible, but anything can happen in politics. Even at the last minute, things can happen. You and I can plan today that racing. We'll say we're taking the position tomorrow. By the time day breaks, and before I get to that point, I can flip on you. The politics will. You say, but somebody must say agree on this thing, but then by the time we got to the point, somebody flip. Things can happen. So we should not everything out of if VP say everything open. The doors are not closed, he's still talking. So as I finally end, we want to watch everybody, watch carefully. We're watching comments, watching him very, very carefully. We're seeing the moves they're making. We know who they're talking to. Watching Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kuhn. We're watching Teron Gonglo. We're watching Clarence Moneyba, the young guy who people are looking to. We know what can happen. But he's going to be making some big news soon. We don't know. We're watching them. So let's see what happens. And lastly, watching President Weah and the CDC as they now form a coalition now.
Thank you. Thank you, Tamale. I just want to close with this. When I was in Liberia, I got a chance to interact with some young people. And one of the things that I felt hopeful about when they were trying to describe this whole opposition thing to me, they said there are some people who are opposition in namesake. That the young people tell me, they say, Dr. Richardson, there are some people in our country, they are opposition in namesake, just the new opposition. I said, what do I mean by that? They said there are the people who, they are in opposition, but they're in power. There are the people who Timothy George describing. They never got anything. They are in opposition, but they got power. And so all of a sudden, they started building these big houses. Their bank account started increasing. They forgot about the Liberian people, but they call themselves opposition. Then there is the other opposition, they tell me, that are actually in the interest of Liberian people. The opposition people, they know that they tell me, that originally, I think you stupid, we are listening, we are when the people are speaking, we know who wants a better Liberia. We know who wants greed. We know who wants big houses, big cars. They want to be driving their car and be splashing water on us. They forgot all about JFK Hospital, Jackson Door, the road to Jackson Door. They come to bring Greta the road and say that road. Or they bring feed our road into our community, then they tell us that our road, when we the one this time we can go on the internet, we can see development in other countries. So I listen to the young people, I say, yeah, these children give me hope. The only stable thing that I heard in our country was the hope and the definition of the young people and what they intend to do with their vote. That's the only stable thing. The rest of the thing, everybody wheeling and dealing. They all into it for themselves. The stable thing is how the Liberian people planning on voting to change their country. The stable thing is that the Liberian people have the choice to vote to make Liberia a more deserving place, as in the words of Mr. Cummings. He uses that word. He said, I want to make Liberia a more deserving Liberia. He usually says, I want to work for Liberians. I don't want the Liberian people to be working for me, to be making me rich at their expense. I want to work for Liberia. I want to make this place a more deserving country. I want to end by saying, I want to thank you Fagon. I want to thank you, Timothy, for being here today. It is not easy, us coming here every day, taking our time, 3 hours a day sometimes, talking about Liberia. This is mostly what you hear on this show about Liberia. Many people will ask, oh, why I can't talk about this? Why I can't talk about that? Why I can't talk about this? The reason why we can't talk about this, especially the American system, is because America has a system that they have used and practiced it many, many years. We cannot come and pontificate on a system in this country that abide by rule and order. But in our country, the place where everything chakla. So we have the right as Liberian citizens, as people who lived in Liberia, to voice our opinion about thoughts, whether some people like it or not. I got nothing to say so much because I know I can wake up tomorrow, my check will be deposited in my account. It's been happening like that for 19 years. That's a system. I can wake up tomorrow and drive. If I run the red light, I will get a ticket. That's a system. I can't speak that about the Liberian people because someday we know that their paycheck gets in their account and in their months they don't get paid. That is not a system. So when people come on this show and say, oh, we can talk about this, we can talk about that, we can talk about this and do that, I'm trying to tell you here today, we take off our time, our 3 hours time. We appreciate all of you who stay with us. Many of you are staying with us. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at your comments and your names. I see it's very familiar. The fact that you are here with us and writing these comments just suggests to me that you're very interested in the very same thing that we are interested in. And for that, I tell you thank you. I tell you thank you very much for staying with us. So on that note, Timothy George, on that note, Fagon, I want to tell you guys. Oh yes, Timothy George, I see.
Yeah, let me just say this to our viewers and our many in the public. I know you guys have been asking us a lot. We see your comments about this issue involving the CEO. I'm going to show you guys that hopefully in the coming days and weeks, the platform will have an official position on it. We will address all your concerns, and we address it, and you guys will be aware and will know where we are. So we're not ignoring you guys. We're not playing a blind eyes to it or whatever the case. We see your comments and so forth, and we are on obligation to at least talk about the issue you guys are raising. But as we say, we as a team, we meet and we'll be coming to you guys soon to address the issue, and so you can rest assured that we'll not just ignore your comments and your concerns. So that we make it clear that in the coming days we'll come to address your issue, and so that at least you can know that we never ignore you and we stand to continue to be the voice of reasoning and so forth. So we just want to let you guys know that. So just let me just address it.
Thank you, Tim. Yes, and I'll make another announcement for all the things that we're going to be talking about. Our country will not change until we go back home and participate. Okay, so please keep a ear out. We'll be making further announcements as to how Liberians in the diaspora who recently got voting privilege in Liberia can go back to Liberia, register to vote, and return in October to go and vote. You cannot sit in America here, my fellow Liberians. It will cost us time, money, yes. We cannot sit here and want to see a better Liberia. We have to be the change that we want to see in Liberia. So I will be coming and making announcements as to how you can do that. There's a plan by the CPP to get Liberians to go back home, to register to vote, and to participate in the election, and also to go and interact partnership with the fellow Liberians at home to want a better Liberia. Let us talk and process ways that we can have a better Liberia. So on that note, Timothy, any announcements? Any other announcements? No? Oh, today no birthday, no death, nothing?
Let me say, I want to know, I'm looking for a place to watch on Super Bowl. So anybody get a suggestion where we watch Super Bowl? Because my team is the Patriots, but my second team is the Eagles, because my second team is the Eagles. I'm rooting for the Eagles in the Super Bowl. So if you got anywhere for us to watch the Super Bowl together, let's watch it. You want to bet, let's take a bet. But I can assure you that Jalen Hurts, the MVP, and also my other guy named Sanders, right? The other guy. Eagles will win the Super Bowl. I can tell you that for now. You can argue, go hug a lepo. Eagles will win. and we live for the Super Bowl. So they get the Vince Lombardi Trophy on Sunday. So I'm looking for a place to watch my Super Bowl. Y'all get any suggestion? Tell me, man, so we can join and have fun and enjoy ourselves. You know, let's have fun on Sunday.
My man, go to America. If you go home.
It can't invite me there. We'll go there, but I know I'll watch the Super Bowl somewhere. So somewhere we'll find somewhere to watch Super Bowl. So
okay,
you got a T-shirt.
I get my ego Sunday. Don't relax.
You got everything, huh? Sorry, I can't be a part. I can't.
Go Eagles, fly birds. Go Eagles,
okay.
fly Eagles.
All right, guys. We'll talk. Yeah, we'll see you. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Bye bye. Good day. I turn it over to you.
Thank you, folks.
Bye bye.
Charges on the beat.
Well, this is how I love to bring to an end of the program, Spoon Talk. The invitation is yours to join us tomorrow, by the grace of God. Do have a God bless day. My name is Baron Brown. Good night.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in